Hello and welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here and we are live. The CEA Spring 2026 Grand Finals presented by Amazon Luna starts right now. I'm FBI Tugboat. Join with me back in the saddle, Bullskunk. How the heck are you?
Doing fantastic, my friend. Looking forward. Always a pleasure. Always a joy to get in here and cast some CEA. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of fantastic action, and it's all for a great cause to boot. So you bet. It's an honor to be here. Been looking forward to this. Let's go. It's never spring unless we get some CEA Grand Finals in, you know?
Yeah, it's like the Puxatawny Phil, right? If there is no CEA, then there's another 6 weeks, 8 weeks of winter, however they do it.
Right. We don't even get spring. That's the power CEA holds. It just holds spring hostage until we get this over with.
Truly. I love that. Folks, in case you're a little bit interested exactly what it is that the CEA does, just basically, the CEA runs these tournaments for various organizations, big corporate entities that have a whole bunch of employees, right? So they come to them and offer the opportunity in what is essentially a team building exercise, right? Bullskunk, I know we get about 10 seconds here on our soapbox. Collegiate and high school esports didn't exist when we were kids. I really would have loved to do it. Bullskunk, go.
I mean, it's better than trust fall exercises. That's what I got for you.
It's a very, very good point. Yes, competitive Overwatch and high school collegiate are better than trust fall exercises. Oh man, no, I had plenty of experience with that as well. But fantastic that obviously collegiate, scholastic stuff exists, but there's also this, right? So
Right.
if that's not exactly your path, and you've gone on, you've worked at one of these very large companies. I mean, we have Microsoft, we have Amazon here playing on the day, and so they offer the opportunity to go forth and play with your coworkers in kind of a team format, right? Team-based
Exactly.
game here to go off and do virtual battle over with other teams. How cool is that? How cool is
I
that?
mean,
And then at the end of it, I think as you mentioned, all of it going off to charity.
yeah, I mean, what better way to kind of learn about your coworkers than to get in and play some Overwatch with them? I mean, you get into the thick of things, you get into the trenches with, with some of your colleagues, and then they become friends, and then before you know it, you're here playing in the grand finals for some of these wonderful charities. And let's take them on. Before we get into this, I just want to highlight a couple of these charities that we will be playing for today, as we will have, let's see, Watchpoint Amazon taking on Capital Clutch, which I believe you kind of alluded to. Watchpoint Amazon will be playing for Mary's Place, which is a wonderful charity giving stability to families and children all across the country, providing stable homes, food, and a way to get off the street, get back on their feet, and to find safety and comfort, be it from an abusive situation or just from an unfortunate situation. An amazing charity. Definitely recommend going and checking that out. That's marysplaceseattle.org is going to be that specific one, and they've served over almost 500,000 meals in 2025 alone to needy people. I mean, a wonderful charity. And then on the other side, Capital Clutch, we're going to be playing for the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which I mean, environmental protection has got to be at the forefront, right? We have to protect what's around us, and I admire so much that they spend their time here, and it's going to the environment, it's going to the animals, it's going to the ocean. 70% of our world, we got to take care of it. We got to take care of it. So we're having a lot of fun here today, but it's also for some wonderful causes.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of that, that is $1,000 going on in charity of choice. Again, that is Mary's Place Seattle for the side of Watchpoint Amazon and the Monterey Bay Aquarium over there for Capital Clutch, brought to you by, of course, Capital One, the bank. The second place is going to be getting themselves $500, and third place will be netting themselves $180. The two teams playing for that are Capital Clutch and Red Hot Chili Pepper. Wait,
Red Hat.
I can't do the name. Red Hat Chili Peppers. You
Not
see,
actually
you
the band.
read. You see, you read, right? Oh man.
No,
Oh man.
I tease.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna have a.
First,
Oh yeah, I was just gonna take one to talk about format. I think we were both heading down the same direction. You know what? You go ahead. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah. So a first of four, not a best of seven, because of course a tie is possible within the great game of Overwatch. It'll be a first of four. Tie won't be possible within this first game mode. We'll be looking at flashpoint push or just your classic your classic kind of like mini best of three within the normal game mode of control, of course. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. You can't tie within push, can you?
You can. Push is theoretically.
If you get to the same exact. That's right.
Push is theoretically drawable, but it is about as impossible as escort. We have seen it
like
once.
Never moves from the initial.
The
starting
only
point,
way
right?
you can tie. The only way you can tie is both teams get checkpoint. In final fight, everybody dies. And so nobody's left on the bot. It ends up abandoned in the middle, and both teams have the exact same amount of distance. But that only happens if it stops at the checkpoint. We've seen it once. In the history of everything, it happened once. But it is theoretically possible. It's just like a 0.0001%. Equally unlikely on escort to draw as well.
Yes, yeah. Hence the first of four format. We like to take all precautions here, of course. Before we hop on into this one, I do want to give a shout out first to our production staff, the geniuses behind the scenes, right? Like I always say, Bullskunk and I are just two fabulously good-looking guys screaming about esports in our rooms without our production staff. That is going to be Rhino, Bod out there producing away on the ones and twos. Also, big shout-out to Antonica, I hope I'm saying that correctly, for all the support behind the scenes. Again, just getting something like this, prepared, and to all of y'all is not an easy feat. Just yelling about it is, I promise. So, again, big shout-out to the two of them, Rhino and Antonica. I think I'm saying that right. Big shout out to Amazon Luna as well for having this competition sponsored and kind of made possible by them. I promise there will not be any favoritism from the sponsor on over to Watchpoint Amazon here. We promise. We got a nice, even, and clean competition that'll be starting on Antarctic Peninsula.
Ooh, which just got a rework recently. It has actually become a really nice map. This went from my least favorite control map in the entire game to
Here.
maybe top 3. Like, the rework on this was so unbelievably good. This map feels very fluid now and has like a lot of options, a lot of room for flankers and some fun stuff here. So we could get past, you know, where you see like the probably the house favorite, the one you see all the time is Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower can feel very suffocating. There's only 1 or 2 avenues in. You don't even really get the full 3 lanes on 2 of the maps. So Antarctica, you get or Antarctic Peninsula, excuse me. You do get a lot of different routes you could take. So we could see a lot of more flanker heroes, a lot more fun heroes here today on this opening map.
Yeah, that's really the biggest need for the rework. I feel like before this map, I mean, like you said, there was not genuinely 3 different lanes. It was just kind of push it all the way down on one. Maybe you could drop down like a little bit, use some difference in verticality, but that also really begs a pretty specific composition. Let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket here and how exactly these 2 teams did get there. Once again, this is basically a $500 match, right? The losing team of this will still be sending off $500 to the charity of their choice. Once again, that is Mary's Place Seattle for Watchpoint Amazon and the Monterey Bay Aquarium for Capital Clutch. And yes, my eyes do not deceive me. This is a rematch, Bull Skunk.
Oh, always good when you get a rematch in the grand finals. Of course, we did see Watchpoint Amazon take that one cleanly there in that upper bracket final. So, you know, Capital Clutch hoping for a little bit revenge, but you know what? They were able to at least take their losers final also in a clean 3-0. Yeah. Maybe this is the one. Maybe we buck the trend here, Tugboat. We actually go the distance. We see some nice back and forth. I mean, we do have a loser pick format. You know, you lose one map, you can choose where to go for the following map, and that includes any game type that hasn't been played yet. So a real opportunity to kind of mold the following map to your liking.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. I love the format. Pretty standard stuff here at this point. Kind of been molded over time and maybe forged by fire a little bit about how do we figure this one out. So, yeah, as I mentioned, this is a rematch, right? A 3-0 sweep that Watchpoint Amazon took earlier, but it is also very much worth noting, right? As you can see, 4 3-0s. Well, there was a 3-1 in the first round. At Watchpoint Amazon did drop a map against the Excelsior squad, a gentleman's sweep there. You know, the Excelsior were taking on the second map. But then this Capital Clutch squad had no problems with them. 3-0 clean as it gets to punch their ticket on into the grand finals. So Bull Skunk, maybe a little bit of something learned from this Capital Clutch squad and not, you know, just a clean sweep of one side in the grand finals to come.
Well, and that's so important in this game, especially when it comes to compositions. We're seeing a variety of compositions played right now. And one thing to keep in mind throughout this tournament is we do not have hero bans. So where you might see, you know, compositions get banned out a lot in other tournaments, here you've got to just muscle down and find a way to beat it. You got to outsmart it. You can't just simply ban it away. So that is going to be where I'm looking at here. But, you know, I hope to see these 2 teams lean into their own style. If there's anything I want to see from these teams today, I want to see something unique. I want to see these teams lean into their own identity, find their own personality here in these series. Because I don't know, I have a lot of fun casting those kind of games. Those are the matches that really stayed out to me and are memorable to me. So I just want to see some personality out of these 2 squads today.
Yeah, something unique. You know, I heard about something in the pregame lobby. It was something about taking a bastion, putting them aloft, and just firing everywhere. What'd you call it? The AC-130?
The AC-130. Yeah, we've also heard it called the Catchtion. I like the Jetpack Bastion is another good one. You're flying around a minigun all over the map. It's terrifying. All right, we've seen this actually coming into meta. This strange, bizarre, downright silly composition. Let's not beat around the bush here. It's actually gone all the way to the top. The best of the best have been playing this wild meta of flying.
How do you hit it? I get it.
Yeah, around the map. It's so fast. It's so hard to contend with. I'm curious if our teams want to pull it out here.
It reminds me, reminds me of the Mercy reworks, right? Where even, you know, some of the best snipers in the entire world, I think that was even Overwatch League times before the OWCS, that they were, you know, they were struggling, having to go to Widowmaker and even try hit headshots on this Mercy. That movement speed was just, you know, taken, turned up to 11, knob ripped off. when she
Yep.
was, when she was ulting at that point right there. Got to believe that there's changes to come. The changes have not been here yet. Have not gotten here yet, though. So hey, maybe a little AC 130, a little Castion, a little Jetpack Bastion, as you mentioned. Really, what do you? I mean, what do you do? I mean, you can shield up against it. I'm trying to
The
think
Bastion
about
just
how
rips
you.
through a shield. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
You have to
Anything
out-rotate.
Reinhardt, you have to.
Basically, the answer has either been to mirror it and just try to take the Bastion out of the air. And so then it becomes a battle of which Bastion wins.
Cool,
and everything just kind of revolves around that. Or if you can dive on the enemy on it, but they're usually so safe. It's a very unusual composition. You end up with splits. It depends on what tank you run with it. If you're going to run the Jetpack Bastion, the Zarya with it plays a lot more ground and can play a lot more with the backline. But a lot of teams are running D.Va, which is way more mobile, and it gets wild fast. Everybody just kind of ends up rotating, and you run kind of a 2-2-1 split. So when you think of Overwatch as being this, this core of 5 players, kind of like a football match where you have blockers and you have a quarterback and you have a running back that'll make the plays, and you can kind of think of Overwatch that way. You have this little set 5 formation. Man, this composition doesn't play like that at all. This is your team is spread out all over the place, and everybody just kind of trying to win their own duels. The other answer is something like a Symmetra and try to out-rotate. So you take your core, you take your formation, and you use that teleporter to try to outsmart and outpace that super speedy cat.
There you go. There you go. Mr. Miyagi, the best block is simply not to be there, right? Go forth and just out-rotate, right? At the end of the day, Overwatch is not a team deathmatch type game. Always some sort of objective there.
Yep.
And I do agree with the idea that having to bring, if you force the decision onto this Castion, right, onto the Jetpack Bastion, then they got to come down eventually. What goes up must come down, and they're going to have to come down. Otherwise, you're just going to give up points and stuff. We'll be hopping into this one here in just a little bit, and we will give updates onto the third place match as we have them as well. Once again, that's going to be, oh man, the other, I just had it up. There you go. That is going to be the Red Hat Chili Peppers and the Microsoft Excelsior. Yes. Love it.
Well, here in this patch, the other thing to keep in mind is our newest hero, Sierra, is also available. So there's no restrictions here. All heroes are available. And the Sierra hero plays almost like an LMG archetype. If you think of having this massive gun with an enormous amount of ammo, and if you land the tracking dart, then you auto reload. So you can go into an extra 40 shots, and then you get another 80 right on top with no downtime. So you can end up just putting a world of hurt down on a tank. And I haven't seen it come to fruition yet, talk about, but I theorize that Sierra could actually be the answer to the Castion.
Yeah, and sorry guys, it's early here on the West Coast. Obviously, yes, Microsoft Excelsior came in third because it's a double elimination tournament. It's obviously sorry about that, folks. There will not be a third place match that has already been played. The Red Hat Chili Peppers were eliminated in the bottom half of the first round right there. So sorry about that. Strats and more strats, Bullskunk. I like it. Is there anything composition-wise that we might really be able to see? Antarctic Peninsula, is there just one composition that you feel like reigns supreme here to come in and kind of put a real good, solid foot forward in map number 1?
Well, the thing is with this rework that's come through, we haven't really had a chance to see this play at a high level yet. So it feels very open. This map still feels a little bit undiscovered, which is a fun place to be. It means we don't have these ingrained, established strategies and formations that you see on this map. It feels a little undiscovered, and there's room for creativity here.
Hey, creativity, I can guarantee that is one of the things that arises from situations like that, right? You have adults come together, a meeting of the minds, Bullskunk, right?
Right.
And some of the high-level strats don't necessarily have to come from, the tip top, right? What is it? A Goats composition that just absolutely took everything over for a long time. Came from Tier 2 originally, did it not?
It absolutely did. Actually came from a team called Goats. Was the name of the team. That's where it derives from. It didn't derive from the meaning or anything of that nature. It actually derives from the team's name.
Yep. Yeah, the Gator was the tank. The Ryan, he went on to play with the... Man, that's when I paid a lot of attention to Overwatch.
Kalush was also on that team.
And got to... I'm sorry, who?
Kalush.
There you go. That's
Kalush was on Goats as well, as was Reiner. If you remember Reiner, who used to play on American Tornado, went on to play with LA Gladiators, also played on Goats under a different name. If you go look it up in Wikipedia, he's not under Reiner. It's under a previous account. But yeah, Reiner and Kalush were both on that Goats team. They would go on to play together in American Tornado and both go on to play in Overwatch League and then now become infamous Kalush, just most recently playing with Team Liquid, right? Still here competing. We saw in the Overwatch World Cup Team USA trials, right? Still around, still competing, these legendary heroes.
Really, yeah, really just international masters of this craft that has become Overwatch, right? How amazing. Yeah. When this game came out, I got to say, because I started playing in season 1, like right after a release, like after the first major patch. And I remember playing, I think on Eichenwald. Yeah, it was on Eichenwald. A buddy of mine played Reinhardt, my brother played Genji, and I played Mercy. And I just fell in love like immediately, right? Like the entire idea of the squad-based where it wasn't just strictly eliminate the other team, right? And there was always like some sort of objective, and the entire idea of a payload, like it's so basic, but it made perfect sense. I just absolutely fell in love with it. Ever since then, it's wild to think about how far we have come, right?
It really is, and we've come so far. And with this anniversary event that has just come out, right? We are right at the 10-year anniversary for Overwatch, which is so cool. It was released, is actually, we're like 8 days away from the actual release of the actual 10 years to the day. As such, they have the classic Overwatch where you can go back and play the game in its base form with the original 21 heroes, the original maps and all that. And you go back and play that. And I think it's easy to forget just how far we have come in this past decade.
What, you got multi-purple effects, anti-healing effects from, what, 3
There's a lot of wild stuff. There's a lot of wild stuff you forget.
Yeah, I remember, like, for Lucio main, to have 15 hours on Lucio by himself, right? And I remember I loved it because, I mean, this is kind of indicative of the times, right? Lucio was the only player that could positively influence multiple of his teammates' movement speed, right? You always had the nano boost, right? But that was just one player. And it was Lucio. Now you got, what? You got Junker Queen, you got Mizuki after his perks. Speaking of perks, my goodness, right? Again, how
perks
far we have come.
Perks alone were such a huge thing. But yeah, I mean, you go back where what they have open right now. I mean, it is the, you can go back and play the 2 Winstons, double tracers with Lucio Zen. That was the meta originally back in the APAC days. This is pre-Overwatch League. It was literally 2 Winstons, 2 tracers, Lucio Zen. Can you imagine that being the meta composition? Like wild times. That's the creativity we're talking about. That is like we're going to the Antarctic Peninsula here momentarily. You ran into a little bit of a tech hiccup. Bear with us just a second. We'll be in momentarily. But when we go into this reworked map, that's the kind of creativity I'm talking about. Where you get the opportunity to just kind of make it your own, and it's fun to see that. And we have built so many layers so high. I think we've created a monument of something special here in the gaming world. That is Overwatch.
Absolutely.
Brick by brick, my friend.
Well, brick to brick. Hey, that doesn't happen overnight, my friend. The change to 5v5, I initially was not for whatsoever.
I agree.
From Overwatch to the second iteration of Overwatch, not Overwatch 2, and now we're playing Overwatch again. Right? There was no change in this bull skunk.
It was all figment of imagination.
Initially was, yeah, exactly. All of
there is no 2 in Bossing say.
Just a grand Mandela syndrome, Mandela effect, right? That we all collectively experienced, right? But I do like the focus that 5v5 has since brought.
I agree.
What's your takes here?
I agree wholeheartedly. I was very, very reluctant to move into a 5v5 format. I thought the format we had worked really well, but then it opened up the map, and we saw playmaking potential just grow exponentially. And so then the ability for an individual to hero carry. So that is way more prominent in today's Overwatch and modern Overwatch. I expect to see that here. We're coming in for our second round. Apologize for the tech issues, but we're getting to the Antarctica. Let's get this grand final started.
Yes, let us march the spot. Paint a logic back. That is the bar, then the 3, the B, the 4, obviously the A and the 7. which is a T. I would sound absolutely insane to anybody who doesn't understand gaming on that one. On board right now, triple shots, and they are banging. A fantastic job from the healing forces that came up as well as we have joined picks. Marks the spot, drops as well, so that is a huge source. I mean, the entire damage core here for Watchpoint Amazon gonna be dropped. Wise decision to just tag on up.
Yeah, but Nendo tries to overrun in and gets picked. Oh, a hero play out of Bat. And that might just open up things for Watchpoint Amazon as they try to come in and take this back. Vandal Logic's going to get one. They're going to get a quick flip here, Tugboat.
Nicely done, nicely done. Yeah, so you saw that kill feed just get absolutely lit up. And at that point, Watchpoint Amazon can afford to trade.
Bat's going to have a Gravitic Flux into this next fight as well. Be our first ultimate coming online here in the second round. So keep an eye on that. Take to the skies. Could just take Nendo out of the fight once again.
Maga comes in and the Maga goes out, marks the spot. Fantastic timing. Joining with the teammates as well. And now this Sig is just absolutely running it down main. All shall fall before the Sig and marks the spot. Marks the spot, of course, being our captain. Little Man on the other side is going to be the captain. Little Man is not apparently going to be playing in this one. We have Drog, Shashi, Nendo, Captain Pajama. Yeah. Yep, Captain Pajama, love it, and not James Z. I wonder who is James Z, but it's not the Moira here for Captain.
It's not them, that's all we know. Look at all these check marks in the top left side of your screen. Watchpoint Amazon have so many tools. I'm keeping an eye on the Kitsune Roach. This is going to be a big one. Nindo's made a swap over to a Ramatra, no more Maga, and this Maga, the Ramatra already looking good.
Wow. Yeah, the Sig drops first, and the huge source of damage has mostly been taking these. After the Kitsune rush as well, no apologies, will not have that one coming in the next, and it's going to flip around 25% or so. Watchpoint Amazon gets back to this. Be able to really contest this around that 55%.
Only the one ultimate nade. You just have the Kitsune rush thrown in. We're going to get the Gravitic Flux up. Looks like you got two.
Nicely done. Here comes the Deadeye. Cassidy finding nothing. And it's going to be the Tracer Bomb. It's basically a cooldown. We call it an ult, but it's basically a cooldown. Panda is going to pay with their lives for their aggression in this one, but a slow burn afterwards. And a great job from Watchpoint Amazon. This is just a stalling tactic. Nendo stays there. I mean, the only other alternative, Bull Skunk, is that long walk up short.
I was talking earlier at the top of this, I'd say earlier, like it was 5 minutes ago. But to talk about seeing some identity out of these squads, we're seeing a bit of that here from both sides. But right now, keep an eye on this protocol. Marks the spot has been the highlight of this map so far. Oh, no!
Yeah, great job just turning the attention on high. And this Cassidy, Shashi, it looks like they were, maybe they're brought in to take care of this Tracer on the other side. Vandalogic just has not had as much success as they had earlier. Now, here comes Juno Ultimate, trying to keep things all together for Zabat, but that is just continuing to get all of the attention in the world, and the Ramatra will win this one on the other side. We're going to have a lead change here. Capital Clutch 77 now versus the 7-6 on the other side. Nendo, get aggressive, why not? Just healers on the other side.
We had Zephyr trying to use their orbital ray. I did not even see their orbital ray hit the battlefield. It was a huge coalescence from Not James. And Moira, that's one of those heroes. That's that personality I'm talking about. That's something you'll see very often. Not James uses it exquisitely in that fight. Soundbarrier coming out.
Here it comes. Does not get the Cassidy on the end, even with the assistance of that sound barrier. Grung comes out and puts a foot down for the squad. 99 to 76 as of right now, but I believe this is going to go the way of Capital Clutch. Just looking for it, stall all the way, maybe a spin to win, little ball action, Wrecking Ball to try and come out here. Nah, this one's going to go the way Capital Clutch, and we have a tied game in our first Antarctic Peninsula map. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
That's what you like to say. We're headed to a third round. I think we're in for a good one here, Tugboat. You gotta love it. We're getting a very interesting look out of the backline from Watchpoint Amazon, running a Juno and a Kiri. This is kind of unusual and certainly brings their own flavor to the table, so their own bit of identity. And then on the other side, that backline with the Captain Pajama and Not James with the Lucio Moira. Also a bit of an unusual touch. This Not James with the Moira gives you the ability to sneak in. You can play aggressive with the Moira if you really want to. Some of the best high-level Moiras actually get extraordinarily aggressive. The things you would be like, don't do that in my ranked games. Sometimes that is actually the play. I'm anxious to see if we get Not James going hyper aggressive into the back line. with Marks the Spot sticking with the Emery, coming back in here as we go into round 3.
Yeah, so we actually, no Lucio necessary, just TP him all the way in. Might see Pandalogic switch into something else, but you can set up a great car wash. You can't use your quarters there, though. That falling first. That drops down everybody backing on up. This will open up in about 5 seconds. I do believe the Captain Clutch with Lucio, just has taxied their team there, will be able to take first point.
Captain Clutch running a double hit scan look here. So they have a lot of punching power with Rog and Shashi on the Sojourn and Cassidy, respectively. Once again, something you don't see very often. I feel is unique to the personality of this team.
Gotta agree. Zap falls first. Rog is continuing to keep their eyes on the back line of the other side. Walkpoint Amazon now. Bat dropped. There you go. That's how you coordinate with your tank and more slow burn afterwards. Oh man, I think we've all done that. Pandalogic trying to come over their TP, but also trying to back up away from the source of danger. Did not quite get there, and ends up feeding just a little bit.
Now we're going to get into pretty big ult cycle. Captain Clutch playing so aggressive. This is going to be very difficult to dislodge. Keep an eye on Marks the Spot to do it. Also a Kitsune Rush coming up from Watchpoint Amazon as well. Might be the ticket to drive Capital Clutch away.
Find something. Just settle with one. I mean, an ult that is usually used as a zoning ult. Doesn't really pick too many picks sometimes. I'm not going to be upset about it. Marks the Spot. Just bounces that one against the ground. And a fantastic job. Here's Coalescence. Yeah, that's damage, that's healing, and that's exactly what Capital Clutch squad needs. A little bit of longer range damage. Trying to chip in here. Marks the Spot. Yeah, they're fishing. Might find a little bit, but I sincerely doubt they're going to find a new pick. This is backup and group territory.
Override Protocol could do an enormous amount of damage. Marks the Spot has been our biggest damage leader, I think, so far of the map. Not finding anything yet. Now Sound Barrier in place well to Annihilation.
Yeah, and the Annihilation here might come in huge. Bat spin to win. Finds 3. Fantastically done. How did this even happen?
That is the 1v1 down to the tanks here on the point. Oh, I misspoke. Zapit's here too. The Nindo has no sustain in this fight, Tugboat. They are just outnumbered and overwhelmed, but they did get it to 96%. So one fight win for Capital Clutch will seal the deal, and they will take away map 1.
Half of a team fight win here for Watchpoint Amazon. You don't even have to eliminate everybody on the other side. We'll see how this goes. Switch Nindo now going on over to the Maga. Let's see, heat things up here. Right on the point. Initial Javelin against that there. Now optimally kind of back up a little bit. Not about the thick of things. So one of these tanks is backing up, trying not to take as much damage. One of these tanks is hard pushing W and just running it right down mid, finds the value from it.
That does such a good job on the Orisa of catching Captain Pajama early, so you take the speed out, and it eliminates the ability for Capital Clutch to be able to disengage cleanly. Huge play out of Bat.
Gotta agree. Cass looking for heads. Nindo is pretty far forward and gonna pay the price for it. I mean, you look at Watchpoint Amazon, there's not very many picks that is just one. There you go, Pandalogic feels the need to prove me wrong, but the rest of the Watchpoint Amazon, they just coordinate for eliminations. Fantastic stuff. Zapit almost biting off a little bit more than they can chew.
And that would have been a disastrous loss. Losing the Juno that late in the fight could have completely swung this map. And again, Capital Clutch only needs one more fight win to take it away. Watch out for the Death Blossom coming in. Terra Surge Death Blossom. A nasty combo. Here we go. Here comes Bat.
Bat getting hyper aggressive, says, hey, I'll take down some of these other squishies. That tank seems a little bit much. Spin it and gets the damage. Almost finds the Moira. She will be able to get out, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Capital Clutch, though, finding a couple afterwards. Grog. Oh, man, as soon as Grog pulls this, I was thinking the fireworks are going to continue. Not going to happen. A great job putting that one down. Always going to love a healer taking down an ulting DPS as well. Watchpoint Gibraltar has lost this one last there. The Juno, 98-99. Capital Clutch takes map number 1.
Wow, what a hold. It was a great return there from the Moira, able to get back in. We were looking at a overwhelmed Nindo in that fight. You know what? Let me back that fight up actually a little bit more. Okay, we're overwhelmed down 3v5. Capital Clutch. I mean, weird 3v5 in Overwatch. so hard to win. 4v5s are rarely won out. It's like 15% of the time can you win a 4v5. Never mind being down 2 in a fight. Unbelievable odds. Nindo completely turns it around on the Manga, is able to pick up a pair of kills, hold on through that last, 99 final fight situation in a 1v2 where Bat had their Juno there to help heal up. Nindo didn't get that reserve, didn't get that sustain for a while. It took not James, a few extra seconds to get in there, but Nindo holds on long enough for the Moira to get back into the fight. Coalescence is there, and they win it. They take it away. What a map. What an opening to our grand finals.
Yeah, I think you and I were thinking the same thing, and that's that we were going to get a tank 1v1. Everybody else dead. 8 players dead. Tank 1v1 on point for the W on the final submap of Antarctic Peninsula. Now, obviously the totals weren't quite that high, and as you mentioned, the Juno able to stay alive. And you said it, kind of more interesting healing composition picks, but it does pay off for this Capital Clutch squad that has to have had that in their mindset, that we have to come out here early, right? Overwatch is such a game of momentum. We have to come out here early and put our best foot forward. Now they're sitting pretty with a 1-0 advantage in this first and fourth format.
And again, just doing it with their own personality, with their own flavor, their own style, their own spice, if you would. The Lucio Moira, definitely an unusual take on it. But also when, rolling out with the Sojourn and the Cassie, when you're running these very high damage output comps, but kind of low sustain, that feels to me that they're very much focused on punching power, right? This is a team that wants to end fights fast.
Yep. And that makes sense, right? It really is. Outside of, geographically where your team is, right? We talk about Brawl, we talk about Dive, all the other compositions there. And that's kind of like the geography to it, right? Another different way of looking at this is how long do we want to fight in team fights, right? And like you just said, do we want to end this really, really quick with high burst damage and not necessarily the most sustain ourselves? Well, the nice part of that is when it works, right? The bad part about that is when you don't take those picks within the first 7 or 8 seconds at least, or at most, excuse me, and then you're forced to go forth and really, really sustain this out. What happens after that Moira loses out of that one? Well, any good Moira player worth their salt will tell you, you really, really have to, get that, that 85-15, yes, your team might get pushed really hard. My pressure might be on, but at the end of the day, you only get your resource back from going forth and doing a little bit of damage. Map number 2 is Saravasa coming on here. That is Watchpoint Amazon selection because, of course, they did lose map number 1, Bullskunk.
And just kind of harking back to what you're saying about the Moira, we saw it on perfect display with that Coalescence coming up with 2 kills. It was focused on getting the damage in with that Coalescence. And as you mentioned, it can do both, right? You can heal your team with it, or you can put some hurt down with it. We saw not James using it for the latter pretty much exclusively.
Hey, you got to sometimes, especially given how well this other squad was sitting behind their tanks, right? Beyond any shields or projected barriers or anything else like that, they were just simply doing a great job. And of course, that Coalescence does penetrate through shields, through enemies, the whole 9 yards. It'll heal and damage everybody inside there. Obviously, Moira now has her perk where she can choose between the two. 30% extra, by the way, on whichever one you do choose as you are pulling that Coalescence.
Heading into Saravasa, one thing to keep an eye on is Nindo on the tank. We will stay on our same sides here, which is a blessing. Nindo, yes. If they choose to go to the Ramatra, which we saw a little bit of, then they would be looking for more sustain. We're seeing the Mauga highlighted here, though they do still have 23 seconds to change their mind. The Mauga is going to indicate more of that aggressive play style we saw in that first map. We're on the other side, Bat playing the Sigma once again. The Sigma likes to play at a particular range. The Sigma wants to hold you at about a 10 to 20 meter range and just keep their distance and pepper you with those accretion rocks and those hyperspheres and layer in an enormous amount of damage. So we'll keep an eye on this, see if Nindo can get those big overrun stomps in and close the gap against this Sigma composition. Also keep an eye on, no apologies, the Venture's in play. One of my favorite heroes in the whole game. This flank going up against one of our newest heroes in Grog's Onron is going to be playing the flanker on the other side. That should be an interesting little subplot between these two teams.
Yeah, and especially on Saravasa, there's so many ways in which they can get. Well, that's not going to happen here early, as the Venture does fall very, very early. The cast continuing. Captain Pajama going to fall in the thick of things, but that is their soft support, their off support. Not necessarily going to be the end of anything beautiful just like that. Watch point Amazon takes a couple of their own. Both teams going forward to put the curtain on early. Playing the corner and playing it perfectly. Capital Clutch has taken this first point. Now is taking, or is putting points towards this first point, excuse me.
We saw Sashi with 2 great picks in that opening fight, but goes down here early. And despite 30% on the board, you get a flip here from Amazon, and they're going to exacerbate that with a couple of kills.
Wow, yeah, so Nendo coming back kind of afforded them a way in edgewise to actually take this one, but again, it comes back to the question of sustain. Nendo going on over towards the Ramatra as well, as Bat is sitting at 90% already. Cass sitting there saying 90%, I'm already there. Panda Logic, getting ready to change the time.
Which is going to be, considering we saw Shasi lighting up the kill feed, it's Panda Logic who's actually put in more damage early. Nendo takes him down. We won't get a dead eye here, Tugboat.
We will not. No, we will not. Look at the Venture trying to get in the middle of this one and really muck things up. Not going to happen. That's the bad thing about Venture. Really all you need is just, hey, everybody pay attention to this for about 2 seconds. Deadeye does come out. Deadeye finds a tank elimination now, just chasing down this poor Juno. We support mains. We gotta look out for each other.
Ain't that the truth? It's one point you just gotta look out for each other in general, all the way around, even on the other side. You know, it feels like a bit of a
even from the depths.
Yes, exactly. Deadeye in play.
Deadeye again. There's the block and barely gets it on the end. Nicely done, smart. Fighting off a little bit more than they should probably have tried to chew. Nendo playing the corner well, and now, yeah, immediately once they turn into the alternate form, they get a solid little bit of extra shield. No, what is it? It's armor. Excuse me. Able to sustain through that one. Capital Clutch will take flashpoint numero 1.
Yeah, so it was smart. Throws the orbital ray in, and we get that great Deadeye from Panda Logic, able to find that opening pick, but Capital Clutch closes that gap really fast despite the Kitsune rush in from Marks the Spot. By the way, Marks the Spot changing roles here. We've seen Marks the Spot go from a hit scan, one of the most mechanically demanding roles, over to a Kiriko, which is one of the most brain-oriented, you know, you gotta have the awareness if you're playing flex support. So kind of a cool swap there from that player.
Was the and also an opportunity to really pop off with the nicely done. A whole lot of red players falling, but Nendo's trying to make this one a non-issue. Swinging for the fences.
This is a 2v1.
Dude, Panda Logic, these Cassidy's are absolutely popping off. No Cassidy left on the Capital Clutch side.
You know, that was down to a 2v2 thanks to that Nendo Annihilation. Everything looked like it was going to go watch point Amazon's favor. They had a huge orbital ray from Zappit. They're able to get a big lead in that fight, but Nendo brings it back with the Annihilation, goes down to a 2v2, and like you say, that Panda Logic cast does the deed. Sachi here, you know, put the business in down to no apologies, 5v4 for Capital Clutch.
Now, pushing past this corner here, but it's going to be Grog. Finding too early, full retreat. Wise decisions, watch point Amazon knows. I mean, these flashpoint points go so quickly, they know that there's really only like one longer sustained team fight between them and using the second one.
Oh yeah, it's, I believe it is 0.6 seconds per percent, just basically 2% a second. It's a little bit more than that, but they go real fast. Sashi Deadeye, Gravitic Flux counter.
Solid bit. Oh man, not the time for a high need on that one. Tried to find it, not going to. 1, 2, 3. Lot falling here. Capital Clutch just a die on point at this point. Well, okay, saw a little answer here. Not 100% sure if I'm just not 100% sure if it's going to ultimately be worth it, and it will not. Oh, no,
Grog thought they saw something, tried to use the Vermilion Descent to bring that one back. Gets a pair. We could look at it. Quick re-engage. You can see Captain Pajama's on the case here, but you don't have smart, you don't have the sustain you need. This is an interesting fight.
It is. I think this just feels like they would just want to get to 100. Pop up, and the Cassidy is not going to like the answer. Grog continuing to find more. High corner for 2 seconds, Grog does, but this is more so just I just don't want to give them any more time. Never mind, still taking picks. Marks the Spot, finds one as well. Have that Kitsune rush online. Won't think we're going to see it quite yet, though.
Let's talk about the mechanical ability of Marks the Spot. Is C2 fantastic shots. It was the opener, and then that's where you see the awareness on display as well from this hero. Marks the Spot finds Captain Pajama a priority pick to keep the sound barrier out of that previous fight. Now they get the flip, but here's the beat. We're going.
Yeah, they dance to the sound of the music. And that's an early, yeah, that's a pretty early one right there. Kitsune Rush is now out. Maybe a little bit of cleanup here after a quick re-engage from Capital Clutch. Zapit's going to fall through the thick of things. There will be a solid source of healing, still remains and marks the spot. They have done a great job in just not falling early.
I mean, MVP of this map so far. Marks the spot, has a perfectly timed and perfectly placed Kitsune Rush to counter that sound barrier, wins that fight handedly. Watch for this Juno Orbital Ray. It could be the ticket to win this flashpoint here for Capital Clutch. It's in play.
There you go. They just used the Port Ultimate earlier to try and initialize a team fight, push it to the corner. Nindo did. We know exactly what happened last time. Getting all of the attention in the world, but throughout the thick of things, going to be able to find a couple more. Flip does come in. A lot of damage here from Capital Clutch, and they get their second. We are a single flashpoint away from Capital Clutch going up 2-0 early in this series.
Smart gets the better exchange on the orbital ray. Shashi landing a ton of damage into that. And this on-run from Grok continues to be an X factor. Vermilion can be used to either put pressure in on your opponent and you get a brief stun and some fire burning damage, DOT damage applied. You can also use it to revive yourself and get back into the fight. Grog has been using it very aggressively here so far in this map.
Got to it first, Capital Clutch did. Maybe super surprised by that. Lucio takes the corner here and put him up in the air. Wow, just shooting right up into the sky. Fantastic stuff from the Cassidy. Smart, Pajama done. The healing core for Capital Clutch is finished, and they have to know that they cannot sustain any kind of team fight here. Wow, Panda Logic still gets them done. Oh, that's a trade.
Finds a revenge with the Silver Bullet. The Silver Bullet also has some tick damage to it. So Sashi left a little nasty present for Panda Logic in that fight. Great job from Watchpoint Amazon here so far, though, in this third flashpoint. They do a really good job of devaluing the approach from the other side. And now, I mean, the huge Deadeye, you know, you get the flying fish in a barrel to pop Captain Pajama off of that Deadeye, and they're able to leverage it from here. But Capital Clutch are already back in the case.
Flying fish in a barrel, I want that to be the name of the team composition. Getting to about halfway there for Captain Clutch. Everybody dropping ults, it really does. Speaking of a puck ban, Nendo's not going to like the sound. Grog tries to stay on point and keep this alive, but with 25% or so, like you said, that's about 2 a second, right?
Yep. I mean, just that number's going up fast. Everybody's dead. It wouldn't surprise me to see Capital Clutch just back away. You only have 2 more flashpoints to go, and you can. The flashpoints will not go diagonal, by the way, so you know. Oh, be engaged. They're not taking any times.
No, they are not. Tries for the hinder. Shashi has this venture in their sightlines. Nendo falls first. Again, trying to play this corner and just simply doesn't. Deadeye's on both sides as well. Trying to split it over between Shashi and Panda Logic. I am not undertaking that endeavor. Fantastic job repositioning Captain Pajama is, but that's not sure if they're going to be able to do it. They will not. Watchpoint Amazon staves off the sweep here on Flashpoint. It was a hard-fought one, though.
Yeah, see, they know we're going to Gardens, so you won't go diagonally over to Temple, so there's only one choice here. You know what the next flashpoint's going to be. Capital Clutch knows they can put their back up to this one. They invested heavy to try to take Palace, though. They invested Sound Barrier, they invested Deadeye, they invested in Annihilation. Now we're seeing Nendo swap back to that Maga. What did I say this indicates? They want to get more aggressive. Watch for Nendo to go run down Bat, but Bat has an ultimate to respond.
You have to monitor this corner well so you can stay in the sightlines of your healers. Shashi taking down their counterpart as Grog falls as well. Nice stun down bottom to try and hit the corner and get back onto this point. Get it closer to your healers and be able to get chip damage in a lot easier way. Is that a boop? Gotta love it. Captain James thinks he's got the boop on the other side. Venture as well. That's a tough one. Nendo trying to spin these down and get as much of those shots out as possible. Not gonna happen. Bat has absolutely come alive for the Watchpoint Amazon squad. 15-player kill streak.
Bat has had some insane rocks, had 2 insane accretions in that team fight. One to put Nendo down. We saw Bat just sticking on Nendo through that entire fight. They are just marking that Maga all the way through. They never lose sight of their target. They maintain perfect distance, landed 2 huge rocks, and are able to win up an important tank fight. Once again, now they're still holding on to this powerful Griminic Flux as well. Here it goes.
Wow. There it is. There's two of them looking for more of it. Creeps will come on in just a second. Trying to hit the Juno and does hit him to the ground, and you are grounded. No fly zone here. That's what Bat says. Onto the corner. Probably will be able to get out. Captain Pajama will, and now that's just a taxi service for the rest of Captain Clutch. They will be able to get a second look at this one.
They will, but this is a must-win fight. The Capital Clutch, if they don't win this fight, we're headed to Temple for your final flashpoint for the map. An opportunity for Amazon to tie the series.
This has been their advantage just based on spawns, right? You gotta imagine they really want to take this one down and finish it 3-1. Panda Logic starts it off fantastic to the side of Andrew watching my Amazon. And that's a sound barrier just a hair of a second too late here, Bullskunk. 5-player kill streak as the Venture now setting this one on fire. Panda Logic. And no apologies. Getting it done for the DPS core. Just like that, we have a tied flashpoint, Bullskunk.
And probably using the least impactful ultimate from Watchpoint Amazon to do it, and that's the Tectonic Shock. You can clear out a little bit of space, but it's hard to confirm kills with it. No Apologies does a good job of just kind of corralling Capital Clutch through that fight. And I mean, Bat, it continues to be the hero of this map. We're down to one final flashpoint to see it take the map. It's gonna be either a tied grand finals or a 2-0 lead. Orbital Ray in play. Cage Fight's out as well.
Oh my goodness, there's the Deadeye that we've been looking for all day. It is truly 12 noon.
That's an ace.
Man, oh man, yeah. Fantastic stuff. Gotta stop and gotta clip that one. We all know what he was doing.
I mean, massive assist to Nindo as well in that. I mean, it was an enormous cage fight to just kind of hold everybody in. That was easy pickings for Sashi.
Fantastically done. Yeah, and again, I really do feel like that. I mean, the Deadeye is just so frequently like a zoning goal, like, hey, get off of my point so we can take a couple of more. Finding one, fantastic. Finding 4, damage afterwards, these are things we love to see. Watchpoint Amazon cleaning up a little bit out on the outside, take a couple of picks. They'll be looking at 43 on the other side and looking to get at least 44 in the ensuing team fight.
Been loving No Apologies on this Venture. Gets a lot of burst damage into that fight, able to secure 2. Capital Clutch spent heavy in the previous fight as well. They might slow push for this Orbital Ray. Watchpoint Amazon to get aggressive on the back of their Kitsune Rush.
Stuns and stuns. I have to wonder who has more stuns between
Gargantuan
and the Sigma. This is huge. Finds Nindo smart with the damage already on them, just trying to get out the Lucio, and that's not going to happen. Yeah, just sitting on this corner, Venture does just drilling them all.
That was a 5-player Gravitic Phlox. And Bat continues to impress. Oh my goodness. You know, we're kind of highlighting a few players here, but Bat is the one right now who is MVP of this map. Watchpoint Amazon 1 fight win away from tying the series.
We do have the Juno ult and the ensuing they have a Kiriko ult for Watchpoint Amazon. There's the sound barrier. They've been using this to get aggressive here early. Like, I mean, that's one. Is that really gonna be enough though? Just kind of come back and wait for sound barrier to go away. Well, that is gonna be enough. Captain Clutch, they didn't even finish this team fight and they started taking ticks. I think you and I were initially thinking the same thing. Like, this sound barrier always at the very beginning of a team fight, not used to counter something on the other side.
There's nothing wrong with getting aggressive with your sound barriers, but that means you have to find value. You have to be able to get the kills. It was a huge shield is the only thing I can think of that Bat blocks the sound barrier and puts a shield in front of the Lucio, and nobody else gets it. It's a disastrous start to the fight, but Nindo's able to clutch it. And now it's final fight for the map. Deadeye versus Gravitic Phlox. Oh, no, she's off the side! What a move! It's an unforced error!
Oh man, and these are the kinds of things that decide maps every single day. Watchpoint Amazon was down 0-2 coming in to the sub-map or sub-point number 3 and completely went the other way. Wow.
What a internal map reverse sweep. It was looking like this was going to be a swift 2-0 lead for Capital Clutch. They had this in control on the back of either the Ramatra or the Maga. They both were looking good depending on which flashpoint. I like the way Nindo was kind of adapting to the situation. But what a turnaround. I mean, that was the player of Suravasa. Oh my goodness. That 5-player Gravitic Flux. I mean, that might be the play of the entire series with the way this is going, but I don't think they're done. I think we're going to see something even better, actually. That was outstanding, though. My goodness.
Yeah. You have to wonder what could have been, right? You mentioned it, unforced error. Shashi, like, I feel like I didn't stop talking about the high noons, right? And like how generally, yeah, you might be able to find one, get a little bit of damage onto a tank. We saw 4Ks right there, and then cleaning up the 5th one after that one. But Shashi is just trying to rotate around and get behind this squad. You pull that one, you're at least pulling attention onto yourself. Well, my team can go forth and cook and take them down while they're paying attention to little old me. Like that is the definition of the sacrifice the body for the team kind of play. Unfortunately, combat rolls right off the side, and immediately just the mentality switches right there, and it's just those tiny little mistakes, right, that decide maps every single day, and that's exactly what we saw within the Suravasa map.
It's a delicate difference between being cooked and being burnt. Capital Clutch got absolutely burnt on that one. Yeah. What a grand finals. What a start. We're tied 1-1. We're gonna take a quick little intermission. When we come back, we'll see who takes the lead. Don't go away.
Hello and welcome back to the CEA Spring 2026 Grand Finals. FBI Tugboat Bull Skunk. It has been a fantastic one so far, Bull Skunk. The initial map, Antarctic Peninsula, back and forth all the way down. That was eventually taken down by the Captain Clutch squad, who did get 3-0 in the previous matchup between these two teams. Hard fought and battled back. On Saravasa, this was 3-2 victory for Watchpoint Amazon after, of course, they lost their first 2 flashpoints.
I like that. It's Watchpoint. Every time I expect you to say Gibraltar afterwards, like every time. I'm like, we're not going to watch. Oh, that's the team. Every time. But yes, we have seen a lot of 3-0s throughout this tournament. And, we're worried, hey, is this just going to be another one-sided affair? Is Capital Clutch going to be able to step up and finally be able to take a map off their opponent? You know what? They start off strong, and we thought they might even just go up 2-0 just like that. It was such an explosive opening there on Saravasa. But what a clapback. Bat leading the way on that Sigma puts up one exceptional performance. I mean, insane rock after insane rock. It looks, just laser guided on those accretions, and rocked the world of Capital Clutch, hit them hard, and they were so dazed they're just rolling themselves right off the map in the final fight. It brings us to a map 3 all knotted up, but it is going to be a Capital Clutch map pick here as we head into hybrid apparently for our next map.
Yes, we'll be heading on a crowd favorite, Kings Row. Yes, absolutely. It's been fantastic since the Great Bamboozle of 2018, I believe. With the
one of the greatest plays ever. Yeah, it was the 2018 playoffs.
Faked the DC, or faked the hardware issue, right?
No. They didn't even fake it. They didn't even fake it. They hit it. So they bunched everybody up in a tight little ball and ran everybody around the map. And so that the Spitfire, who they were playing, who would go on to win the whole championship, by the way, had no clue that there was only 5 players in that little bundle and not all 6. They left the Widowmaker in the spawn for one of the most infamous plays in Overwatch history. Absolutely. That was right at the birth of GOATS as well. We were talking about the infamous GOATS composition. That was right at the birth of GOATS, right? It was 2018 playoffs, and we would see GOATS become the prominent composition through the first half of 2019 before we finally got roll lock. And also before Shanghai actually beat it. Fun fact, GOATS was beat before roll lock. Shanghai Dragons beat it with a Wrecking Ball triple DPS comp.
How's it going?
Love that.
A little lore for your friends.
Yeah, ingenuity and creativity begets ingenuity, creativity. Panda Logic looking to harness their inner shore for, if I remember right? The Great Bamboozle? No, not gonna do it. Oh, gravy. I love this May. I absolutely love this May from Encore here for Watchpoint. Amazon will be looking at Bat with the SIG. They've had a lot of value there initially. A little bit of push, a little bit of pull. Well, they can't give up this choke point that easily. The Bastion just comes blasting through, and they kind of give this one up and find the corner. Okay, Bat looking for something, tries to toss a rock on the other side, see what they can see. What's gonna happen? Endo finding a lot of pressure on the other side, and this Mace happens to stay alive still all the way through it. No picks so far. The toe onto point, and Bat's gonna pay the price for that one. Nendo's still alive in the defenders, trying to find something or away in edgewise, not gonna happen.
Very interesting front-loaded damage with the Bastion, but you're essentially playing a double flex DPS look here, so you don't have consistent damage to layer on top of that if the assault configuration doesn't find the pick. You're relying on a May wall and a quick kill. If that doesn't work for you, then Watchpoint Amazon kind of fall flat. We saw that here. We talked about the Ramatra provides a lot of sustain, is a really smart pick from Nindo on this defense, a good first hold.
Yeah, so kind of that gamble again, kind of what we were talking about earlier. A lot of damage and get it really quickly. Well, Nindo finds the corner and gets right on back with the rest of the squad. Full health right there, and they're continuing to fight that one. Heinun comes out. Heinun finds nothing. Shashi just kind of backs him up a little bit for a couple of seconds. Nice headshot, but the assisted movement all the way through. Shashi biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Defense in a disadvantage for the first time in this push thus far. Here comes the Coalescence. It should make a solid job of keeping the squad alive, and now they have sectioned off the healers. We all know what happens next.
Yeah, Grogger's going to go down. It was a really nice play from Panologic to start off that whole fight. Kitsune Rush out of No Apologies, who has moved back into the support role, by the way, will be the death of this defense. Watchpoint Amazon will steal away point 1. We've also had Encore come into the game for the first time today to be playing that Mei, as we have seen a... marks the spot head to the bench after playing both hit scan and flex support previously. On the other side, you got Not James back in and playing that more. We saw that Coalescence try to come out, but what a great wall from Encore to deny the healing out of that Cole.
Fantastic job, and another early pick here. Shashi going to be present with the rest of this team fight. Should be able to get damage in, otherwise it really just depends on Nendo. Nendo speaking up, getting aggressive, trying to take some space here. Here comes the Juno ultimate. A little bit there, but opting best to just kind of come back on this one. If they're not finding as much value. They really would have liked that versus Nendo. Oh, actually misses the accretion right there. I think that might have been the end if they actually did get this one off. Encore just kind of hanging out themselves in the corner right there. Finds themselves a little bit of rest, a little weary. Grog gonna have this tire online, now pulling it, seeing where it goes.
Oh, wow.
Not gonna find much. It's a pinstripe kill feed. Looking fashionable here, Goldstrong.
Yeah, Encore could have been in a difficult spot. Actually ends up drawing some aggro. We've got a 3v3. Encore will return with the Blizzard into this fight. So configuration down, but Nendo is keeping it at bay. A nice Vortex. And Pandalogic could be in trouble, but a beautiful Suzu from No Apologies keeps him in the fight.
Yeah, great job right there. Suzu obviously no longer providing that healing, but still giving you that cleanse and being able to remove that negative movement ability. Send her right on down main. This is a little bit of yardage is just being given up. Or watch point. Amazon as of right now, just absolutely blasting away. Grog doesn't get away from it, neither does Smart. James tries and fails as well. And this will be a 2v5 without this one goes. Yeah, watch point Amazon will definitely be able to get into this next point, excuse me.
An exceptional orbital already out of Zappet. You saw just every kill in those first 3 had Zappet's little face next to it. Is because, okay, that was a fat finger. That's unfortunate. That's one of your most important ultimates. And Encore just accidentally hit it. They were trying to hit tab. I've done it. They were trying to hit tab and ult track and accidentally clipped their Q. I've seen it. I know exactly what that was.
Just kind of like
still, you have Kitsu. You still have Kitsu here in Tugboat. That's a really powerful ultimate. Perhaps the most powerful in the game. Oh, but you're down your Bastion. Now you don't want to use it. Now you just got to back away. Try to get out clean.
Yeah, and just with those two tiny little mistakes, right? The fat finger, which we have all done, we've literally all done, and then the Bastion, the source of damage, they really need to try and push this one. It's not going to happen. Here comes the Griffitic Flux, finds one, and that's actually going to be a fantastic time for it. Here comes that Kitsune Rush that we were talking about, not going to matter. Pandalogic doing so much damage down main. Looking for a little bit more. That is going to find it. This Juno, will they be able to get out? They will not. Sending damage around the corner here, and Amazon, or Watchpoint Amazon, continuing to roll. It seems, Overwatch is a momentum-based game, Bullskunk, and after that Saravasa W, it seems like they're looking unstoppable.
2-minute plus cap would be enormous. Grog is going to get popped off the left side. A wall to prevent the retouch on the left. And that is just it. I mean, 2:35 left in the bank. We saw, I mean, the Coalescence try to come out to save the team. We saw the Annihilation try to come out from that defense, and neither had any impact. It was just too much overwhelming damage from start to finish. What a great run. Once we saw Watchpoint Amazon start their march through Point C, they never relented, and it was a beautiful Gravitic Flux, of course, out of bat to get it going. They used a Kitsune Rush and just focused down the Ramatra immediately. The Ramatra tries to use their ultimate, still can't survive. You're able to leverage that Kitsune Rush plus Bastion is just an exorbitant amount of damage, right? That is 50% extra attack speed on a Bastion who now has those mortar shells courtesy of that perk, and Pandalogic just riddled that defense with holes that they became Swiss cheese. It collapsed like a toothpick tower. And there you go. It was a 2:35 cap out of Watchpoint Amazon. And now they head to the defense with a head full of confidence. Like you say, the momentum is definitely at their back right now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And The Imre as well. That's really been the only massive change that we've seen. Like this core here, especially after Encore specifically, switch on over to the Mei. That just with Kings Row geographically, I feel like it makes so much sense. There's so many chokeholds. I mean, well, I can think of 4 or 3 really. The first one obviously, then under bridge, and then a little bit later as you're getting into that first actual point that you unlock after you unlock the payload itself. Taking it to the skies, I'm not against it. Shashi has shown what they can do over on the Cassidy. We'll see what they can do. Oh my goodness, what a headshot right there. And they actually knew where this was at based on where the Mercy was healing from. So they do get the res. They do get the res, but this is a 30-second cooldown. Not coming back anytime soon.
It's a pretty spicy res, but I mean, you know what's a pretty spicy composition is, you know, you don't get Pharmacy very often with not James backing up Shashi, and we see the res coming in high value. And now Shashi is, you know, entrenched up here on this high ground with Grog. And, I mean, do have a wealth of experience. This is actually the one player in this lobby that I recognize from my previous experience casting Overwatch. Shashi has participated both in the Overwatch World Cup and Face It League as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, that rock almost landed. That would have been so sick.
Would have been fantastic, yes. And obviously would have been enough for the clean blow. Panda, Grog both down, 4v4 for a couple of seconds, turns their attention to the skies. And for just a second, now 5v4. Grog is back. James gets in and gets out. No harm, no foul. Takes it to the corner. He finds a small health pack as well. This Mercy ain't dying. Anna now on high, sends this here, expect the anti, and does, finds it. That is a back foot bat right now. Opt for the ultimate quickly to try and turn this one around. Not going to be able to find the tank. Gives up a lot of percentage points on the other side. Yeah, and this one's going. Unloading first wave for this offensive squad.
Mercy doesn't provide a whole lot of heals. It's only 55 heals per second, some of the lowest in the game as a matter of fact. But those reses invaluable, 2 enormous reses throughout that fight, and the Valkyries would get you more healing, but also that damage boost. That damage boost coming in massive in that. You saw Nindo actually getting a piece of it and utilizing that to help get that first cap. Now Annihilation and Barrage ready to go here from Capital Clutch.
Probably really happy with that one. On over. Here's a Casino Rush. They're going to have their hands full. Shashi finds a lot down bottom, but it's going to be the Blizzard and Encore. It finds the big tank on the other side. A nasty sleep. Encore is not going to be able to push this one and get any more aggression going. It's a full retreat here for the Capital Clutch offense, and a wise decision. Don't want to feed any ultimates.
Shashi showing that some of that experience that I was talking about, able to get in and drop a barrage, a nano boosted barrage at that, right into double support ultimates. But Encore and Bat are able to clap back and win out a 4v5. Spectacularly done from the defense. This is going to be a pretty even fight. Lots of ultimates from both sides. Dragons to start it off. What's the
Yeah, Encore, as soon as the wall goes up there, they can't exactly see where those dragons are coming from as well. And they're just going to protrude from the other side, and you're going to hate what the look is. Zap it, just trying to stay alive, get back. Not gonna happen. Capital Clutch on the offense and gonna be rolling. They will not get all the way to the next point without a team fight. They're gonna be sitting rather pretty until they do, though.
The Capital Clutch definitely got their burst damage in on that one. They like these explosive, high aggressive fights. That was a perfect example of it. Annihilation plus the dragons invested into that. And they just run Watchpoint Amazon down. Nindo very aggressively positioned. Here comes the Flux, though. This is able to get one. Nindo blocking up and surviving for now.
Yeah, only finds one right there, especially given that the tank really is the least effective of all of them. The wall comes up, trying to get away from this Mei. Wow, nicely done. Corner caddies that one and just jumps all the way out of it. Watchpoint Amazon, cold and strong on the defense. No ultimates necessary, Bullskunk. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and anytime your Sigma is able to catch the Pharah like that, that's disastrous. Really, Bat once again showing some exceptional mechanics. You can see Pandalogic win a good team fight here, or win a good duel here, rather, and that's going to just force everybody back. This point can be so difficult. This is a tough place, hardest place in the whole map to get stopped. It can take so long to get back in. That is a pivotal fight win for Watchpoint Amazon's defense. Watch for Shashi, though. Woo! Good shot out of Pandalogic, keeping Shashi at bay as they look to try to sneak in behind enemy lines and find a place to use this barrage.
Yeah, you gotta look out for the anti-aircraft that is Lead, or Bat, excuse me, on the other side apparently. Drop to the ground, here it comes. No apologies, does have that Kitsune Rush available if they really need it, but yeah, can't get it done with the other two here. Capital Clutch will be able to push this one all the way through after Nendo invests that Ramatra ultimate, the Annihilation there. 2 minutes 54 seconds, so they're not going to be able to get this one with more time than Watchpoint Amazon has, but they still might be able to get it.
Zapit just got yanked out of the sky. What a ravenous vortex there from Nendo to secure, opening take onto the highest number healer in the game. Juno can put up so much sustain. Kitsune Rush available for this defense, though. Encore with another Blizzard, both of which can be fight-winning.
That, once again, like fighting opponents in places they may not have fully anticipated. Kitsune Rush out, no apologies there. Zapit still got theirs. I mean, everybody except for no apologies now going to be able to have their ultimate online. The Maywall comes out, and it's a great job from Sashi knowing that like all of the attention in the world is going to come right there. Nicely done. Finds two, the tank and a DPS. I'm not going to be complaining about it.
Oh, what brilliant play. I love the patience out of Capital Clutch. Very measured approach on this attack. They take their time. They actually disengage from the Kitsune Rush beautifully, getting minimal value, or denying value, should I say, from the Watchpoint defense. And then the patience you saw on display from the nano-boosted barrage. They wait for Watchpoint Amazon to get close. They get in, get the double kill barrage, and Not James even able to use Encore's wall to get a res. Can they get the cap here? Orbital and Protocol from the defense. Zapit's already got 2 with torpedoes? How did that happen?
He's so desperately trying to find the Mercy. Finally does have to use one of the fat shots for it. Those heavy shots. They will get it done here. Holding strong as the defense, but they dropped everything in their capacity to do it here, Bull Skunk. They'll be staring down the barrel of an Annihilation and a Bob from the Ash on Grog.
This is such a tough cap, and if they have to finish with time, Capital Clutch need time in the bank when they push this thing all the way in. Otherwise, they won't even get an opportunity to attack, and the best they can hope for is a draw. That bomb, it's got to be perfectly positioned to get max value.
Get it right there.
That'll do it.
It's going to go all the way inside. Those sidelines are going to be restricted. Actually, now it's just pretty simple. Again, just simply don't be there. And Capital Clutch pushes this one all the way in. Yes, is with less time. I mean, it is a miles difference from 2:55 and 1, but they do get it in here, so we'll get a little bit of sub overtime in King's Row.
Attacker's advantage. Fans of my chat will know Command AA is a favorite. Attacker's advantage is notoriously very favorable, even if it is a little bit of a meme. But there is something to be said for you force overtime spawns sooner on your opponent, which on King's Row can be impeccable, like can be absolutely pivotal for how far you're able to push, because the defense can't get back to key corners to set up a solid defense. So overtime spawns can really become a problem, but this assumes Capital Clutch can win this opening fight, can get this first point and get the car on the road. I think to overcome this deficit, at the very least, you need to put 4 points on the board and get the cart around the bookstore of that second corner. If Capital Clutch can do that, I think they may be able to nullify the time advantage that Watchpoint Amazon has here. I mean, it's no easy ask, but then also, so to further elaborate on Attacker's advantage, then Capital Clutch knows exactly where their defense needs to be positioned, and you're able to get an extra team fight because of that. It forces the attacker to have to win, let's say, 4 fights when the defender only had to win 3 to reach the same distance.
It's a very good point. Very good point. We'll see how they're able to finagle this advantage coming into this one here. Encore on this May. They're basically they're gonna have to hit their walls here, and if they do, they segment out a couple of players. Story might sing Watchpoint Amazon. Sleep here after the more of an interesting healing composition. Smart on the Ana, Not James B on the Mercy. Pharmacy will be open for business, and a great job from Capital Clutch finding 2. The Wise back up right here. I would say Bull Skunk maybe even be able to re-engage this.
We're going to get a swap out of both Encore and Panel Launchers. They're going to go back into their double hit scan look. Capital Clutch is going to get that precious 4th point on the board. Okay, so they've all achieved the first step that I say they needed to if they're going to take away this map. Now they have to get through this choke. I don't think getting stopped at this choke is going to give you that advantage I was alluding to. You have to make it through this choke.
Have to. The double hit scan on the other side, I feel like that makes a little bit of sense given they have the pharmacy, but Shashi's going to be able to win that initially against Encore 4v5 for the time being. Pushing this one up and trying to get all the advantage from their pick and their advantageous position.
I mean, that's literally the value of that one pick. Like, that one pick carried so much impact behind it. That could be map winning delivered by Shashi. Now you have a barrage to work with. And this Team India vet might have just delivered the lead to Capital Clutch.
Yeah, this is a huge,
There's another one.
advantage. Shashi continuing to find it. It's going to be a healer this time. Nasty purple. Push the advantage and push it now. Captain Clutch. Capital Clutch has done exactly what they need to pull this off, and it's just going to be a standard. Yeah, I remember when Sigma first came out, and I was so angry about this ability. You just cover the payload, pull everybody off right here. There are obviously plenty of counters to it, right? You get a bubble up, you can fade out or other things like this. Right? Well, I guess maybe not fade, but you get what I'm saying. There's plenty of ways to counter this one. They do not have any in the back pocket, though. Still going to be fantastic positioning for the offense in the previous.
Way more than they needed. I think this is extremely winnable for Capital Clutch. The Sig-9, of course, is legendary, and that's what we saw there. The overtime, the bar whittles down faster the longer the overtime is in play. So we saw such an extended overtime period in that fight. The moment that the Sigma lifts them off of that cart, that yellow bar just vanished, and that's the end of the round right there. Ooh, we're seeing Bat hover over an interesting choice, but they have plenty of time to change their mind. Let's focus on this defense. Let's focus on Shashi. Shashi has been a hero. What a heroic effort out of Shashi to deliver that important push. 86 meters into point B could be enough. I mean, it's kind of on a knife's edge here. We will get the pharmacy return and see if this veteran can lead their team to a lead in these grand finals. That is still sticking. Okay, there we're going back into our normal composition.
It makes a little bit more sense. Panda here going to be trying to get this pharmacy combination closed down. On high here, into the corner. Panda reasonably cautious. That went a lot of damage against that one. Let's Shashi far, and she's going to be able to push back on board with Fat as of right now. Trying to just spread this corner and get to the other side so you can get that advantageous positioning here. Watch point Amazon is really, really low, and yeah, it's going to be that damage over time. Grog actually finds 2 with the same set of dynamite.
That toe pace is nice, and a good start here for the defense. Watchpoint Amazon, though, with that extraordinary attack that they had, gives themselves a lot more leeway. So even though they don't have as good of a start here, they can rely on building up towards ultimates to brute force this first point open. Keep an eye on that Kitsune rush. We're 2/3 of the way there. I think that's going to be the ticket.
See how that goes. They have plenty of tickets to get in here. There's plenty of opportunities to get in here, edgewise or otherwise. How they do will be the name of the game, because this has not been a lot in the past 60 seconds. And the massive advantage that we saw for Watchpoint Amazon is quickly being dissipated. Shashi is going to have that barrage. You have Kitsune rush online in just a couple of seconds on the other side. See if the Sojourn gives them a little bit of a different look for Watchpoint Amazon. And then there, takes him to the corner and just immediately swallowed up right there. Zap is going to combine with a couple of members. I guarantee it was not a solo effort from Juno. Tries for the res, not going to happen. Not James.
So +1 to Watchpoint Amazon right now. Kitsune Rush is in play to try to win this 3v2. Nendo's form already is, which is the most important sustained cooldown you have. So we're going to see Nendo back away as well. And you're going to give up 1 tick. There will be a recontest. Wow, you've already had Valk used. Watch for the annihilation out of Nendo. See if they can hold on to this point. Could be a late nano boost to secure it.
Annihilation on board, and the Sig gets left by themselves. Shashi contributing up top, and that's going to be just shot. Oh my goodness, 66.5. It hit 66.6. You get 2 ticks. Not going to happen. 30 seconds in the last team fight in this one. Coming in just a second, Bull Skunk.
That is unreal timing. 0.1% from denying second tick. That is perfect. I mean, frame perfect from this defensive Capital Clutch. Good flocks. Could this be the ticket?
Yeah, no, you just find one, and you didn't have everybody paying attention to Nendo on the other side. Here comes the Juno ultimate. We'll see if this is able to sustain them up all the way through this, as Bad is just trying their best. Misses an uncharacteristic miss with the accretion here, as we now have hit overtime. Couple of picks on the both sides, but it's going to be Watchpoint Amazon mostly losing this one. Rez does come in, so Capital Clutch is up 5-3, and they're falling so quickly I can't even count the numbers, right? Capital Clutch has done it in map number 3. Kings Row goes their way, and we have our first post-game 1 advantage.
Then they really accented the clutch in their name, and that overtime, my goodness, 1 minute to 3 minutes essentially. I mean, that is a gargantuan lead as far as time. Yeah, I talk about attacker's advantage, but usually that's negated when the time banks have that massive a spread. But what a clutch. That final fight, it was that Ana gets the huge nano boost in to help the tank survive through the gravitic flux. It's one of the reasons you're able to survive that big ultimate. And then you get, the shots and the anti-nade onto Bat to secure the kill onto the Sigma. That was very well played. And I mean, capital C there for Capital Clutch.
Yeah, I called him Captain Clutch a couple of times. Maybe that name fits as well. A fantastic job here from Capital. What's up?
The Ana was Captain Clutch. That was. Yep.
I mean, these antis can just be so dramatic when there's not a Kiriko on the other side for her cleanse, obviously. And cleanse even has gotten nerfed in recent. What was it? It was 35 healing or 30 healing or something else like that it used to be. Now just the cleanse, right? Just the very, very brief immortality and taking off any negative effects that you did have on you before.
Yeah, so they took a little bit of sustain out of it, but of course, being able to get rid of the purple is enormous. Yeah, we didn't see it to come into play there at all. There was a Curie on the other side, but that's just good timing. It's good timing from the Ana to play around the Suzu. No one wasn't there. You land the big ante. We saw numerous. I mean, we had just Peyton Manning there in the back line on that Ana. I mean, just throwing dimes right into the numbers to follow the football analogy. And I mean, it was spot on, and that timing, that retake was unreal good. That's not something you see very often, even at the highest level. You don't get a retake that is that frame perfect to where you deny the second tick by 0.1%. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That is unreal good. All right, we're getting into our fourth map. We got our fourth map picked here.
Yeah, Runasapi coming up here next. I get it. Yeah, the 66.5. I just feel like there's certain things that are just not coming up. Watchpoint Amazon, right? I mean, yes, it was Shashi taking the long walk off a short pier in, what was that, map number 2. Yes, map number 2, Saravasa, that would go the way of Watchpoint Amazon. At the end of the day, there's no guarantee that would have gone either way. But where I know we're going now is to the push game mode. Probably my third favorite, maybe fourth, maybe towards the back end of my favorite game modes for this beautiful game of Overwatch.
Really? See, I thoroughly enjoy push. I think push has.
You have to.
Push taught us rotations in Overwatch 2.
Ain't that
so
true?
there's been benchmark moments throughout the 10-year life cycle, as we're talking about the 10-year anniversary that we have here. Goats has been brought up multiple times on this stream already. Goats taught us cooldown usage. Goats taught us cooldown usage to an extreme micro and macro level, and how to combine cooldowns and how to be absolutely just pristine and frame perfect with your cooldowns. We learned that through GOATs and the real micro on that. One of the things that we were taught is with push was rotations and how you rotate and how fast you can rotate here in what became Overwatch 2. Like I said, there's no 2 in bossing safe, but that was what push taught us, and that has continued to be perfected. And I thoroughly enjoy this with the movement and your positioning is so imperative in the game of push, and especially here on Runasabi.
Differences in verticality on both sides of this, obviously, and we have a Sombra on the map. Wonder how these hacks EMPs will go forth and go. Well, her first target almost gets felled. It's going to be Bat, though, with a trio of members of Capital Clutch combining onto this team ahead. Takes down the tank of the opposite side and starts taking distance of their own.
You gotta love Watchpoint Amazon. They like getting everybody involved. They want to make sure everybody's able to get in and have a good time. We've got Marks the Spot returning on this Emriata spectacular performance of maps 1 and 2. We've also got a new player in Kabukino. Kabukino has come in the flex support role, or what we have double flex support, in the Kiriko role.
Very good point. We'll see how Panda Logic trying their best to get this one around. It is once again Bat that comes out. Oh no, excuse me, it was Bat that was felled first in the first team fight, and Nendo falls, maybe not first, but close to it in the second team fight. James was with them. Regardless, it'll be Amazon, or Watchpoint Amazon, starting to take some progress of their own.
And Kabu is 2/3 of the way to that Kitsune Rush. Again, this is I think the most important ultimate on either side. Well, I said there's gonna be an EMP eventually, but Grog not finding a whole lot of value in that first fight. They'll get a manual hack here, see if they can take down the batteries.
Here it comes, that overload protocol. Yeah, and that is just a sitting duck waiting for him. Healing Court, just like that, dusted against the Capital Clutch side. Excuse me, this team fight is not over. Grog, Nendo, finding some of their own.
2v1 on the point right now. I think Grog disengaged.
We've all been here. I know that Sombra's around here somewhere. Firing off
Fortunately, Grog's not able to stop the
card. She's somewhere, I just know it.
We'll get a 2.5-minute checkpoint picked up from Watchpoint Amazon. So a very important benchmark on any push map. That's a 10-second wait that is now done in the past for Watchpoint Amazon. They can continue to make progress past that checkpoint. Should they win another team fight here, they'll also get closer spawns, at least until now. Those have been taken away. But back, it's an opening pick. Kitsune Rush. Did I get canceled? I think I got canceled by the hack.
I think it did as well. The Sombra, now we realize the game plan a little bit. Grog spitting out a tasty one for their squad. The MP over on high in Capital Clutch is going to win this team fight. Start pushing progress towards the other side.
I was talking about putting the clutch in this name. Kitsune Rush is the hardest ultimate in the entire game to cancel. You cannot cancel it with stuns. It has a 0.1 second casting time, and the only way you can cancel it is with a death or a hack. Grog hit that hack in the 0.1 seconds. That was insane.
Yeah, and you gotta cook it up a little bit first as well. Crazy stuff. Shashi dropped early. Bat getting aggressive, and Watchpoint Amazon is taking the last team fight loss personally.
The wailing from that cancel. I've covered nearly 600 Face-It League matches over the past 2 years, right? I cast Face-It League. I cast 10 matches a week of Overwatch. I've only seen that canceled once.
Wow. Really a 0.001% or something like that play here, folks.
It's insane. Yeah, that was insane.
Watching absolute greatness. Yeah, I mean, taking them down while they actually get killed. I've seen that a couple of times. But I'll admit, throughout my Overwatch games, which is probably a little bit less than 600 matches, at least recently, I should say, not lifetime. I have not seen a hack actually come forward to find that one. Here comes Uno Ultimate. Zappet trying to assist their squad in the ensuing brawl. Bat against Nendo on the other side, and Nendo coming so close to actually winning this one. Charge comes in. Here's the spin. Captain Pajama gets a little bit too close and flies too close to the sun. Nicely done. These kunais coming out and providing damage. It's mostly just going to be the healing and a little bit of cleanup. And Watchpoint Amazon takes this team fight.
Capital Clutch, you had a great start. We're trying to win that fight early. We've seen them get aggressive. They like to play aggressive and get early kills. They used a nano boost from Captain Pajama, who's going to go ahead and swap to a Lucio now. But if they had nano boosted Nindo in that previous fight, you got a Shashi Deadeye into the mix as well. Also find a pick, but good clapback. Despite being down, Watchpoint Amazon were able to fight their way back from a deficit in that fight. Now they're pushing this courtyard again, and they'll have this override protocol to do it with. Nice stick.
Oh, man. That's a fantastic stick. It can be really tough for this override protocol to actually find a super mobile character like Lucio. And throughout the thick of things, they're going to find the second. That is the on-run done and dusted. And Watchpoint Amazon comes within maybe a second or so of actually getting the full team kill bell that we all do know and love.
The Gong of Death, as I like to refer to it. This is excellent progress. Watchpoint Amazon are pushing around the corner here. Still 4 minutes remain. Nindo low is already having to back away. There's not really a lot of good cover for Nindo. Shashi's rolling it on the flank, though. Has already got Kabu.
Man, so a great job in the first start. Hey, you push it in. Nindo gets a little bit of stun, a little bit of just a tickling in the back line, right? Just some chaos continued or chaos caused, right? That's going to be enough. Shashi on high finds that one as soon as they hit the ground. Last player here, that's going to be bad. Hey, this is not a terrible job. They've been contesting all the way through and then finds a pick.
Oh my goodness, and Kabu's going to get another one. I thought Shashi and Grog, kind of had that in the bag. Shashi gets 3 in that fight after the beautiful flank. But good patience. Still, this fight is not done. Kills continue to go back and forth.
Yes, they do. Yes, I thought they were in a little refractory period where we were ready to kind of chill out a little bit. No, that's not no chill in either of these teams. No, not James.
Zero chill.
Justin, Nindo continuing in another fantastic stick. Panda, you can see why we basically call it a cooldown. It's not truly an ultimate.
It feels like two pulse bomb sticks within the same fight is kind of how that felt.
Yeah, like I said, dude, they basically put that on like a 12, 15 second cooldown, something like this.
I'll go 60 seconds, but yes.
Something like that. Deadeye on the line here for Shashi, if they so choose, gonna have to find a little bit of a little corner on this one. Here it comes.
Good answer out of the orbital ray. Grog tries to use the Vermilion. Ooh, coalescence from not James. I mean, still doesn't quite get it done here. So, oh man, what a bloodbath this has been over the past 2 minutes. This is insane. They just don't stop. What a big one shot of Nindo is gonna get three piece on the board. Cap one finally marching the other way.
Finally finds it, yeah. So Nindo just fighting tooth and nail on this one. Finally going to be able to get this through, and that only happens by, putting your nose to the grindstone and not being willing to give this one up. A couple of ultimates on board for both of these teams, a tank and a DPS, so they're looking pretty similar. The big difference, of course, is that we were spitting distance away from that Kitsune rush, of course.
Override protocol here to start. Into the air. They're not able to get anything into that cage fight. Shashi's Deadeye is going to take Mark the Spot out of the sky.
Nicely done. Nicely done. As soon as he hears this one, gets in a position to pull it. And completely shuts down that ultimate. An ultimate that generally can go forth and completely swing team fights. Captain Clutch is continuing to take progress. Great job and a great shot at the edgewise here on the Tandem Logic. Spinning it to try and win it. Not going to happen. Yeah. Finds one, but not going to happen with the rest. Nindo takes that one down. Their team, though, Watchpoint Amazon team. Afterwards, Nindo is not exactly on an island. Is going to have that healing with, but yeah, quickly just gets absolutely melted down.
I think Panelogic's the last one alive here. Like, it's another bloodbath of a fight. We've seen Grog come off of the on-run, moved into a Symmetra before that fight started. And just kind of not able to compete with the flanker. Panalogic ends up surviving an insane back and forth. Everybody spit heavy in that fight. We saw Terror Surge, we saw Kitsu. We saw a lot of ultimates invested in that previous fight. Really nothing on line here. I'm looking at the beat out of Captain Pajama to try to get Capital Clutch back in this thing.
See how this goes. Nindo, I think got caught on that corner right there. Actually, we'll see. How quickly they can get back with the rest. Marks the spot, tries for the healing and damage, not gonna happen. Shashi does not miss your head. Gets in with the melee as well as Bat. Just can't quite finish this one out. 65, that's pretty low, Bullskunk. Can't land the shots.
Yeah, I was talking about casting as much Face It League as I do. Well, Shashi has been on my stream, as I have cast them in Face It League Master Division, playing for a team called Hive Mind. They have competed at the Tier 2 level, and we see it there with that 3-piece. That was exquisite.
Really was. This is a tall task and a rough ask out of Captain Clutch. About 40-meter differences. They have to win not one but two team fights. Well, starting this off with the K against Pandalogic is a terrible job. And Bad getting way too aggressive, Bullskunk. Way too aggressive. Trying to just end this one with their presence and without a full game plan.
This is, final fight for the map right here. We're in overtime. Capital Clutch need 20 meters to push. They've got 4 ultimates to do it with. Sim barriers already come out. This is going to be a 9-ult final fight for the map.
Yeah, and that's really close to the Orisa ultimate, and as well as the Kitsune Rush. This is huge. Tries to find it. Drops down. Looks for 2. Finds him. Fantastic job. Zap it done. Pandalogic done and dusted. Protocol from on high. Captain James, or Captain Pajama, excuse me, falling in the thick of that one. Tries to find more. And I think they come off of it. No, they got it. They got it. Watchpoint Amazon came off of it.
What a comeback out of Capital Clutch.
Wow, dude. Wow. What was
huge
that, 60
sound
meters?
barrier. Yeah, that was a huge comeback. Rusapi is the most comebackable game in the entire map. You've seen huge swings on this map, but nevertheless, it never fails to impress me. And speaking of never fails to impress, Nindo putting on another spectacular performance here. But it was, an enormous cage fight there and a huge sound barrier. I believe that the Panda that really set that one off. You're able to find the kill on Kabu on the other side before they can get their most important ultimate. That Kitsune Rush dies at 99% in that pivotal final fight for the map. The Override Protocol cannot penetrate the shields of the cage fight, and Capital Clutch show their clutch one more time. What an exceptional grand finals we have had here today so far.
Yeah, like you could basically point at the smallest of, errors, misplays, mistakes, right? Whatever you want to call them, are just not really exactly getting what the stage is set for you to get, right? You could point to that across 3 different of these games and say, hey, that doesn't happen. There's a very, very real way that the other team goes forth and wins. We're sitting right now at 3-1 victory, Capital Clutch, after a 3-0 sweep of Capital Clutch by Watchpoint Amazon in the winners finals. Crazy stuff. You can't make it up.
Well, Watchpoint Amazon will get a chance to see if they can clap back. It's going to take 3 map wins in a row for them to take this grand finals. They'll have choice. Pick of the litter. When we come back from map number 5, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go away.
Hello and welcome back. Corporate Esports Association Spring 2026 Overwatch Grand Finals. This is for the whole tamale here, folks. FBI Tugboat and Bull Skunk. Now, we are looking at a 3-1 series. Anybody who may have watched this bracket up to this point would be assuming that I would be talking about Watchpoint Amazon. They just 3-0'd this team in the winners finals. Of course, they're up 3-1. That is not the case. Bull Skunk and I were talking about how there's 4 different mistakes, 4 different tiny, and I mean tiny mistakes, sorry, I should say facets, right? It's not really a mistake to have your ultimate at 99, right, in the last team fight there. If,
Right.
if that had hit 100 and gotten casted, 0.1 seconds later, then maybe a different story there on that last team fight, Bull Skunk.
It could have been. It absolutely could have been. But alas, the tail of the tape is Capital Clutch up 3-1 and looking for that revenge. If this had been any other series, it would be done and over and celebrating a victory for Capital Clutch right now. But here in the grand finals, you got to win 4. You got that extra map to give the opponent time to adjust, to give them time to adapt, and perhaps choose a home or a style that fits fits their style, it fits their personality, and start the march back towards a victory. I'm kind of hoping this one goes the distance. I've had so much fun here with these two teams. I would love to see this just go more, just because I want more of this fantastic match, more of these amazing players.
Whenever casters like us see 2 very, very evenly matched teams like this, the last thing on the plan that we want is 4 games, even 5 games. We want that 6, maybe even
Give me
7.
6. Give me 7. I know, right?
At least 6.
No pun intended.
6, right?
Yeah,
no pun intended.
I see you out there. Don't start with me.
And also, no biased casters here. We're not necessarily pulling for either squad here. We just want more Overwatch. At this point, that would require Watchpoint Amazon to actually win a match, or to actually win a map, excuse me, to extend this series along. to the Runasapi push. We'll be heading on over to Shambhala Monastery. We're getting Buddhist with it.
Watchpoint Amazon had everything going their way early in Runasapi. They're able to get the first checkpoint. They're able to put up a 120 to 60 meter lead very early on. But towards the very end, those final couple of team fights, we saw Shashi really starting to take over on the Cassidy, making life extraordinarily difficult for Watchpoint Amazon, and stole that one like a thief in the night. Just picked their pocket, rolled a nat 20 on that sleight of hand, and said, nope, that dub is mine. Capital Clutch now sitting on championship point, and Shashi hovering over this Genji. But it took a fight back. It wasn't clean, their tugboat. Capital Clutch had to fight from the depths and make a comeback on Runasapi. We know Watchpoint Amazon can hit hard, particularly when Bat is on this Sigma. Is honestly still put up an MVP level performance, even though the team is down 1-3. And that Sigma is powerful, is potent, and the accuracy on those accretions has been outstanding. For the first time today, we're seeing Panda Logic pull out the newest hero. We've got a Sierra in the mix for this double hit scan defense.
Yeah, kind of like that LMG player, like you were saying. We're also going to see the Echo for the first time here. Grog going to be playing the replicating Echo right there. See who they Genji getting involved as well. Trying to dive in a little bit. And actually does push Watchpoint Amazon a little bit far off of point right here. So they're going to get a pretty corner, maybe even a little bit more. Still getting damage and still pushing and still creating pressure. Is this offending squad? Grog gonna fall, Captain Pajama gonna fall. This should be a full retreat for Captain Clutch.
Oh man, really nice disengage out of Watchpoint Amazon from that attack. And then we see, Bat able to flat back to get an opener. He's going to get another one here. Nindo did take a little bit of a toll as they do find Panda Logic through that exchange. But the real story of that team fight was fantastic movement out of Watchpoint Amazon. I told you that push taught us how to rotate. That was put on brilliant display there by Amazon.
Yeah, showing what they know for sure. Captain Clutch, or Capital Clutch, my goodness. We have Grog switching on over to the Soldier 76, maybe trying to get this quick hit scan damage in to the other side. Probably those healers, to be honest. Maybe Juno, obviously, up high in the air a little bit farther. We have this Annihilation now on board, getting mega aggressive with it. No! A wasted Sigma ultimate there as Nindo tries to put those hands up, absorb a lot of this damage, and no, there's no give up and no back off in their blood. Nicely done, Shashi over here on the Genji, taking down that last, again, just a second or so away from the death gong. That's what you said earlier?
Gong of death.
Gong of death, actually, that sounds a little more dramatic. I like it.
Yeah. Nindo, no surrender there in that fight, right? There was no quarter. Nindo just marches forward and is able to batter through Bat. This will force Bat onto an Orisa. We don't see Bat swap off the Sigma very often, but feel like they need a little bit more ground and pound going up against the Ramatra of Nindo through this fight. We've had Bao Bao enter the fight for the first time today. Also on this Ana, has a Nano Boost ready to go here.
Yeah, Nano Blade is a classic for a reason. Here comes the first. Bao Bao will not be involved in the second part of this team fight. The Blade did come out, the Nano didn't hit though, so Shashi has what they can do with that. Does get negated just a little bit.
That was all because of Bat. Bat robbed him of that important wombo combo, hits a huge energy spear onto Bao Bao just as they went to throw the Nano Boost. I'm honestly surprised it didn't get canceled given the timing of the Blade coming out simultaneously, but Bat gets the spear and the kill. Bao Bao never able to hit Q.
Fantastically done. Fantastically done. Hey, maybe a Nano Visor coming up here soon. Nano Annihilation. That's too many A's and N's right there for me. Nano Annihilations. That's a mouthful.
It's a Nanolation is the way I always said that one.
Nanolation. I like.
A Nanolation. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. This Ashe looking to mark their own spot. Bob will be available and now sends it out. Yes, they do. Annihilation out as well. Here's the Nano. Yeah, this is just going to be Captain Clutch. It seemed like this was a foregone conclusion once they actually put foot across this initial check hold. No, they check. Chokehold, excuse me, man, I can't talk tonight.
They definitely put foot to throat on that one, though. The Nanolation does just put so much damage on those tendrils of death coming out from the Ramatra ultimate, and Nindo just full bore sprints towards the back line. You get two. You know, Bat, as always, does make it scrappy, will always take their toll, gets one in that exchange, but it's not enough to start the roll here from Captain Clutch. 4 minutes going into this third and final point on Shambali Monastery. Watchpoint Amazon need a big hold on this point if they want to claw their way back into this series.
Nendo really playing with fate there a little bit, takes to the corner, but marks the spot, and the Echo is done and dusted, so Capital Clutch will have an advantage coming into this. We've had this Nano at least be available for quite a while. No! Didn't time it well enough. Grog was dancing on that corner right there, trying to get damage in, but didn't hit enough headshots, and then didn't get back in time. Crazy stuff.
And that was the break that Watchpoint Amazon needed. I think if Pandalogic goes down in that exchange and we see the Nano Attack Visor come out, we're looking at a different story. Instead, Bao has to throw it on Nindo just to try to keep him alive, and still Capital Clutch won't survive this team fight.
Yeah, so this is just, again, a minor mistake. Bao is on the right side of this opening. Teammates, everybody who can body block for you is on the left. And that's not even talking about this from Matcha's projected barriers and whatnot. It's a slow character. We've all been there. Bao will be back with the rest of their squad. Everybody else except for Bao is going to be able to have ultimate coming into this next team fight. And they're staring down a little bit on the other side. No DPS ultimates, so they have a lot of sustain, but not necessarily a lot of stopping power.
Kitsune rush. Attack Visor, though, right into the Kitsune. Is going to get... Oh, no! 4-piece for Grog, and they're going to march this thing all the way home.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. There's a team kill, or the Gong of Death, excuse me. And Capital Clutch is going to saunter into point and pull a blade on their spawn door just to let them know what you had in the pocket. That's a solid little bit of time as well. I mean, more than 2 minutes in Shambali Monastery is never going to be something to scoff at, Bullskunk.
Capping Shambali Monastery is never something to scoff at. Finishing with 2 minutes is exorbitant. Look at this. Looking at 20 deaths there for the defense versus 8 on the other side. That's how dominant an attack that was. Typically, that can be the other way around as far as those numbers, and your attackers can still get capped, right? You have to win more team fights as the defense because it's just theoretically and generally harder to push into a space. It's easier to set up and hold and fortify a space, which is, you know, why you see the defense has to win more fights. Man, it wasn't even close. Your attackers won twice as many team fights in that map and put up a fantastic time. Chashi showing us this Genji today is something special here.
Really would be. On the other side, I mean, Watchpoint Amazon's attack now. I mean, I love Marks the Spot and Pandal and what they've been doing on these DPS characters. I have to imagine that May would have shut down a lot of the negatives that Capital Clutch was spinning their way, right? Like, obviously, once you get to or past first point and you have like a bunch of these switchbacks and stuff, this is prime real estate for these May walls to come up here and section off players. Those are easy pickinses, right? Talking about a May versus a Shashi Genji, well, we all know how that one is usually going to go once that, you know, that the damage over time does come in, regardless if you actually go forth and slow them down for your teammates or not.
Yeah, so we're going to get Pandalogic back into the Sierra to go on the attack. Hot take. I think this is actually a double flex DPS comp we're looking at right now.
Paying off so far for Watchpoint Amazon. Solid pick here initially, and that's going to be a nice sleep as well. Trying to get out from this one. Bunch of damage, and they are not going to be able. Nendo, 2 for 1. 1 punch, 2 Ks. I feel like there's an anime around that.
I was thinking the same thing. And then those pair of kills still hasn't been enough to stop this cart entirely, though. Sashi Low is getting chased down here by Zappit, with a little help from Pandalogic. And Watchpoint Amazon are able to get through the first leg of this opening point. Still, job's not done. You gotta make it up this difficult hill. And no ults online just yet to do that.
Not. Nindo will be the closest on the side of Capital Clutch. Might see that from Eureka on the other side. Nice purple, just forced the comeback and just got completely caught up on the corner right there. Watchpoint Amazon is absolutely rolling.
A little bit of a whoops there. The deflect is going to take the sleep, and all of a sudden there's a pair of kills going the other way. It's still a +1 for Watchpoint Amazon on this point. But they're quickly, okay, getting under duress. I was worried if that had gone down, that might have been a disaster. But the 3v2 victory for Watchpoint Amazon should net them a capture on point A. Grog is still lurking up on the higher ground, but you don't have really anybody to contest. With no tank here, no Tracer in play, no Lucio in play, it's just going to be Capital Clutch backing away.
Okay, and Grog bites off a little bit more than they can choose. Zapid able to get that one, and now we get to the switchbacks part of this map. Multiple ultimates online for Watchpoint Amazon. Capital Clutch will have multiple online for them as well here soon. So, that Annihilation, you have to assume is going to come out early and try and set up their teammates to get the damage necessary.
I'm looking for the Terra Surge with this drone. I think that could be a cool combo out of that and Panda Logic. I don't know if they'll use it. Oh, that orbital ray didn't get them very much. The entrance into the back line. Let's see if Bat can survive this.
Here comes the Annihilation like we were talking about. That cooldown going to get slowed down so much. The Ana can't get away from. Wow, that is one punch, one kill for however many in a row. That's going to be now down alone by themselves. Unfortunate. And both. So this is kind of a situation where both tanks kind of just pause for a second and think, hey, what do I need to do, right? Nendo really punches their ticket, and after just, you know, going toe-to-toe with another tank, okay, you and me, buddy boy, like right here, right now, and then just wait, hang on. There's an Ana, there's a Sierra, and there's a Bastion right behind you, and they're all really low. I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
That team fight might have just lost Watchpoint Amazon the series. That's how disastrous that was. They spent 4 into that fight. The last final ultimate they have online to fight through this difficult switchback just came out. Big anti though! No apologies, Body just saved their attack.
Marks a spot, finds, oh no, that's just going to be
Bob. There's Blade.
A little bit, but yeah, there's a Blade, and this might be a rotation of ultimates on the back side that is now just way too much of an advantage. Okay, let's really look at this for a second.
Well, I mean, it was 4. It was 4 spent by Watchpoint
Yeah.
Amazon in the previous fight.
Yeah.
So they had nothing to fend off the Blade and the Bob that just came out. So easy fight win there. We're starting to see, you know, the support ults come back online. Fortunately for Watchpoint Amazon, Capital Clutch don't really build up too much towards their support ults in that endeavor. You do have the Nendo ultimate to worry about, but Zapid's done a really good job of staying in the thick of these high uptime and is close to an orbital ray. This could be huge to take this corner, but Watchpoint Amazon, they've got to be careful. They've got to play this perfect.
That Bastion gets rather slow. It fires into the deflect like a little bit here. Not going to negatively affect the teammates too much. We do have a Tracer now on board. Panda there. Orisa spins. No win. Grog takes a long walk up the short piers. That falls as well. 4v4. Annihilation out. And now just running it all the way down. No! The answer from Watchpoint Amazon marks the spot, and Panda Logic come out with a flurry of damage to stop this push in its tracks. Capital Clutch was trying to come back at this one. No go, my friends. Not so easy, or at least not yet.
Yeah, Watchpoint Amazon kind of defying expectations as they're able to win a fight they maybe shouldn't have been able to win. Digging deep in that one after you lose your tank. Being able to overcome such a high sustained composition on the other side with no tank was a huge feat. Unfortunately, job's not done. Nanobus now available for no apologies here, though. It's going to go on to the back.
Nice. That's a lot of damage on the bat, and now enough. Running it all the way down. There's the tag. That's going to be enough as well. The Sierra needs to come back a little bit. Nasty Purple puts this one on high, and another tag. My goodness. Putting the team on their back. The Jan Sport play of the day is Grog.
Wow, yeah, let's talk about all of that ammo and the uptime available if you can land your tracking dart. Never mind adding 50% attack speed on top of all of that with the Bao Kitsune Rush. Then you layer in some extra damage from the orbital ray to boot. Oh my goodness, that Sierra just turned into Thanos real quick.
Yeah, 35 seconds or so here, Bull Skunk. We are going to have this Blade online. A little bit of pressure against the Tracer on the back side here, and the Sierra ultimate will join in just a little bit. They have that online. We'll see if the Bastion's going to be enough to get it, but this is just a super mobile composition. I'm not sure if the Bastion ultimate is really going to help them. There goes the Blade. That finds a huge source of damage. Bastion now calling for it. Sashi cannot get away. A misjump. Okay, barely gets away. but I think that's gonna be enough. The toll has been paid, the bell has been rung, and the call has been answered. Captain Clutch, here comes the annihilation, and that will be it. 4-1 victory for Capital Clutch. They get it done after getting swept in the winners finals.
What's in your composition?
Oh, man. What a great match, dude. What an absolutely great match. This really, really looked like it was going to be able to go a little bit farther of the distance.
Apparently there's no fees or minimums on Genji blades out of Shashi. That is what we have learned. They are free and plentiful.
Oh, man. And they get harvested rather quickly. Shashi putting in a really, really good performance onto this one, especially when you look at some of the characters on the other side, and like some of these are like, okay, yeah, I can see that, they're not like full on like counter to Genji, right? But they're like, especially with each other, this could really get it done. Not happening. This Genji was able to, and really what it was on Shambhala Monastery is them having an expert knowledge of this map and knowing which walls they can ninja run up and which they can't, to go for it. I mean, we saw it, right? There was a Cassidy on the other side. They came over, got 2 headshots in a melee really quick, and then realized, like, almost got the actual elimination, right? But then realized, hey, everybody and their mom is going to be looking at me in just a second. I need to go ahead and take this run up this wall right here. Man, oh man, what a fantastic match, Bull Skunk. Seriously.
That was so good. Seriously. That was so fun. I wish it had gone longer because I was having so much fun with these teams. But you know what? Everybody wins as far as our charities are concerned. Capital Clutch will get $600 towards their charity of choice, which I believe was the Monterey Bay Aquarium. I might have gotten those backwards because the team swapped sides a couple times. $1,000 total.
$1,000 to Monterey Bay Aquarium, $500 to Mary's Place Seattle, which is, of course, the charity the Watchpoint Amazon was supporting. So
there you go. There you go. Thank you.
180 to third, which again has been figured out already. That was the Microsoft Excelsior squad. So yeah, so some solid catch going to some fantastic organizations, some absolutely wild Overwatch that we got to cover. I don't know. Is there going to be a free lunch delivered in my front door in a second? What's going on here, Bull Skunk?
I think we're going to get to talk to some of our players. Let's see if they had as much fun playing this game as we had casting it. We're gonna bring in. I believe we're bringing in question. Who are we bringing in here, producer?
Little Man, I think.
All right,
Little Man, the captain here for this squad. Yeah, for the Captain Clutch squad. So Little Man going on over there. Like Bull Skunk said, short break. We'll be back with you guys in just a minute to hear from the captain of the winning squad. Hello and welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Spring 2026 Grand Finals for Overwatch, sponsored, of course, by the good folks over there at Amazon Luna, FBI Tugboat, and Bull Skunk. A 4-1 victory for the Capital Clutch squad, represented obviously from Capital Bank. And we have the winner. Yes, we have the winner coming on in and give us a minute of their time, talk to us a little bit about it, and give us a slice inside the mind of a winning captain for the side of Capital Clutch. Bring it on in to the booth here with us. This is Grog, aka Little Man. Little Man is the name we had written down earlier. Grog, are you with us?
Woo!
Congrats on your big championship.
Thank you.
What I'm gonna open up with the Runasapi. I felt like there was there were two really good swing backs for y'all. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe we should back up to Suravasa. What happened on Suravasa, and were you worried after the 1-1 tie came through?
I don't think so. I mean, like we did see a little bit of lag from Sashi when he rolled off the map. I think that's what made us lose the map. But no, I think we were just trying to get the feel for what they were playing and how they were approaching us, and I think we adjusted pretty well overall.
Yeah, rolling off the map final fight with Ultimate was definitely a unluckers. How much flame did Shashi get after that moment? I have to know.
No, it was all good. Nobody. Well, we could give a little talk, but
sure.
Just don't let it happen again, Sashi.
Let's move forward to my second question. Is kind of just, we're gonna do it 2-1 here. Then you go into Runasapi and you find yourselves down in that map fairly significantly, and you're able to swing it all the way back around. Were you ever worried in that map? Also, I do believe you had actually got a hack onto the Kiriko. You canceled the Kitsune rush with that manual hack. I wanted to get confirmation from you personally. Is that what actually happened there?
I didn't even know I did that.
I believe you did. I believe if we saw it right, it's a split second thing. But yeah, I was curious because it is the hardest ultimate in the whole game to Ajax. My mind was blown. I believe you actually canceled a Kitsu with one of those manual hacks. We'll have to go back and verify though.
I see. Yeah, no, that was purely intentional. I meant to do that. I knew she was gonna, rush when we went in, and I just, did my thing.
Biggest
but was there any concern? Runasapi, did you ever have any doubt? You're like, oh man, this one's kind of slipping away from us. You'll end up digging deep and turning it around.
Yeah, I think me personally, I was doing pretty ish at the start. I think I swapped like 3 or 4 times until I stayed on Symmetra, and that's when I got in the flow. I think I just started off pretty slow. My teams were doing pretty good, but I think we were just getting a little melted at the start.
So just good adaptation.
We revolved around what they were doing, and then Sashi was actually, Sashi's basically our IGL. He was giving us comms and following orders from Mr. Him. So.
And Sashi definitely popped off those last 2 team fights in particular.
Yeah.
Really did. That was the Genji play there towards the end. Now, Grog, want to ask you. Bullskunk and I could not stop talking about how there just seemed like, this was all of these maps felt like 99 to 100, right? That there was just a tiny little difference between these two teams that we were watching. Which of these maps, Antarctic Peninsula, Suravasa, Kings Row, Runasapi, or Shambali Monastery, do you feel like was the most close, irregardless of the score? Irregardless is not a word.
The closest? That'd be Runasapi. I mean, it went to OT. We had 30, 50 meters to go, and we had to push that in
I think
OT.
It was 60, yeah.
Yeah, we got a long way to go, and we had I think I had just popped my shield, and then we went down one, and we were rushing on point. I think Runesap is definitely the super closest nail biter one for us. And we all started yelling and screaming when we won.
Absolutely.
That's so awesome.
Usually indicative of a very close fought battle. Now, I'm going to shift the focus a little bit towards a little more macro and ask you about these competitions here. I'm curious, you guys are supporting the aquarium. I just had the name of it up.
Monterey Bay. Monterey Bay.
Monterey Bay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Supporting the
Gotcha.
Monterey Bay Aquarium. Of all the various charities and sources where this cash could go, your winnings could go to, is there a particular reason why you chose the Monterey Bay Aquarium, sir?
We're gonna save the otters. I think
Hey, there you go.
in previous Overwatch tournaments they did Monterey, and then they just kept that one since the start. So
Gotcha. Well,
I like the
fantastic
I like the original. We're just gonna save the otters. Our goal is to save the otters. Yeah, I love it. You can't go
Save
wrong
the
with that.
others.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Bullskunk, exactly. Last question before we get you on out of here, Grog. I want to ask, what does it kind of mean to you to be able to play in these competitions with coworkers from your job? That it's kind of like organized from that other side. This isn't something that you and your coworkers had to go forth and take more time out of your day, after work or whatever else like that, to go forth and set up yourself.
yeah, no, I think it's also it's super fun. I mean, before setting up the team, I didn't know any of them. I never really worked with
Oh,
any of them. But I mean, set up the team, and from then we played 1-on-1, got close to a bunch of people. I mean, it's also like super fun playing with them every match.
It's
I love
really
that.
cool. I mean, organized play is the most fun I've ever had playing
Yeah.
Overwatch, and I
Yes,
can't imagine when you get
definitely.
somebody of Shashi's capabilities there. They played in Overwatch World Cup this year's playing with Team India, played in Face. I
Yeah.
cast them on Hive Mind,
Yeah.
just a couple seasons ago. So
Yeah.
that's got to be a ton of fun. Did you have a favorite moment of just today, or even the season as a whole? Was there a moment when you're like, oh yeah, we're all gonna be friends forever now?
I think well, definitely like just setting everything up, playing together. I think we had one map where I had like a 4 or 5 piece dragon, and we were all just like having a bunch of fun, and like I don't know, it's always super fun playing with these people. Good people.
It's always super fun getting to cast and getting to see y'all play and getting to see you do your thing. So appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and putting on such a good show for us. I believe that the floor is yours here as we kind of wind this down. Do you have any shout outs you wanted to give or anything of the like? The floor is yours, my friend.
Just shout out my team. Shout out for playing, having fun, and that's why they call us Capital Clutch.
Love
You
it.
put the
Love it.
you put a capital C on clutch today, my friend. Well done. Congratulations on the dub.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on and give us a minute of your time. Like I said, kind of a slice inside the mind of a player immediately after the match. Everybody, this is Grog here with Capital Clutch. They have taken down the W, supporting, of course, the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And again, thank you for your time, sir. Good job on the W.
Thank y'all.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Bullskunk, it is always a pleasure to cast with you, man. It
Likewise,
was
my
always
friend.
fun casting Overwatch. The CEA, personally, I really like what it is that they do. Like you said, the organized play and stuff. It's, again, not going to get on the soapbox. It was not something that was quite as possible at one point in time when
Right.
Bullskunk and I were playing a lot more video games, probably. And so it's really, really cool to see other people have these kinds of opportunities. It's even better to see organizations that make this world a better place be benefited off the back of some fantastic Overwatch plays. So I everything is coming up roses here, Bullskunk, and I stay winning. I want to give a big fat shout out to Rhino as well as to Antonica over there on the ones and twos, producing away and making our jobs as casters that much easier. Also, obviously, want to give a huge shout out to Amazon Loon and all the other organizations that make competitions just like this one possible for us. And I do want to ask Bullskunk if you have anything else for the good people before I do tell them about next weekend.
No, it was an honor and a pleasure to be here, and it doesn't feel like spring unless I get to come in here and cast some CEA.
Yeah, right.
So just want to say thank you for everybody for inviting us to be a part, inviting us into your homes, and thank you all for joining us and coming and hanging out and seeing some spectacular Overwatch.
It was a blast. It really, really was. Next weekend, if you enjoyed this one, well, tarry not. We got some more esports next week, and especially for some of us, a little bit aged gamers, right? We got StarCraft, we got League of Legends, two staples of the esports industry. This will be about the same channel, same time next week, and about the same time next week. And go ahead and go over and follow CEA over there on your various socials. I'm sure they'll tweet about it. You got everything down there as well. If you enjoyed what you heard there, folks, bang, Bullskunk. Spelled just like it is over there on Twitter. Bang! FBI_tugboat on Twitter and literally everywhere else. Be sure to follow the CEA as well. Really appreciate y'all for watching. We will catch you on the flip side.